All right, lead heads, welcome back to another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. This is episode 294. And if you guys didn't get the opportunity, make sure you go back to the last episode, 293. It was another interview-packed episode. We had none other than the governor of Idaho. We had Brad Little on. We had Zenith Firearms. We had VK Integrated Systems talking about their smart butt stocks, which we like to call them the smart ass. We had Walk the Talk America, Mike Sodini, and his friend Mike from Alpha Guardian Safes talking about some new innovative safes that they are developing. And then we had an awesome new nonprofit that we're going to be getting behind here in the Tennessee area. It's called Hero Hunt. So make sure you guys go back to 293, check out that episode. This episode is no different. We're going to have lots and lots of good interviews, good topics, good information. And to help me roll this episode in, we're bringing in the famous, you know him, you love him, you've heard about him, Big John McCarthy, ladies and gentlemen, from MMA. No, wait a minute. That's a different Big John McCarthy. I'm sorry, it's Jeremiah McCarthy with FMG Publications.
Also known as Big John McCarthy.
Also known as, because he is big, and I guess, is John short for Jeremiah?
John is my middle name.
So, welcome in. This is your first time.
Thanks for having me.
You are a new guy. So as you lead heads know, whenever we have a new guy, we're going to hit him with the new guy questions, but we're going to do that a little bit later on in the episode. So real quick, Big John, introduce yourself to the Leadhead Brigade.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm Jeremiah McCarthy. I'm a full-time National Guardsman and part-time freelance gun writer.
And a very good one at that.
Thank you very much.
And the reason that I have Big John on is because the topic that I want to talk about today, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But first, we want you guys to go and show some love to those who make this show possible. Make it possible and free for you guys every episode, every week, sometimes twice a week. Companies like Right On Optics, the official optics of Talking Lead. Guys, go to www.rightonoptics.com, and that's RITON. So don't get it jacked up with RIGHT. It's RITON. Check out their awesome line of scopes, red dots, and they've even got some binoculars there. So you guys heard me talk about the big world record breaking shot that Charlie Melton is going to be doing this month. It has been confirmed Talking Lead will be there. Woohoo! So we are going to Utah, Big John.
All right.
To cover Charlie's... we're hoping he's going to break it 7,000 yards or further if he decides he wants to do it, rifle shot. So, yes, that is going to be next week, but never fear. I'm going to hit you guys with another episode. It's not going to put you guys through another week without an episode of Talking Lead. But we're going to be getting some great content. That's up in, like I said, Utah, flying into Salt Lake City. And some of you may or may not know, but that's also the home of our good buddies Paul and Jared Markle with Student of the Gun. So I'm going to get to spend some time with our buddies out there, Student of the Gun, and they have since introduced me to another gentleman, and you may know who I'm getting ready to say. His name, Jeremiah, his name is Jeff Kirkham. You familiar with Jeff Kirkham?
I'm not.
You familiar with the Ready Man Tourniquet? The Rat's Tourniquet?
Absolutely. I actually have one of those. Okay,
so he is the inventor of the Rat's Tourniquet. So we're going to get an opportunity to talk with Jeff. And he's also a silent owner, partner in Black Rifle Coffee. So, and he's got several other things that he's doing, lots and lots of cool things that he's doing. So I get an opportunity to spend some time with those guys as well while I'm in Utah. I'm going to make the most of my trip next week. So I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of those things that just kind of fell together at the last minute. and I'm scrambling to get all the flights and all my stuff together to make that trip. But it's going to be awesome stuff, guys. So that's something to look forward to. And, of course, Charlie shoots and uses Ride-On optics. I don't know which one he's going to use for this shot, but I know that we're going to be doing several other rifle shots out there. Brad Stair, I guess he's the inventor, creator of the Tejas round. You familiar with that one? So,
you're killing me. I'm failing.
That's okay. It's okay, man. So you know what a Shy-Tac is?
Yes.
The Shy-Tac round. Yeah, so it's a modified Shy-Tac that he's developed. And he's done, the round, he's done the rifles and all that, and that's what Charlie's going to be using to shoot. I think he's going to use a .416, but Brad has developed a 22 Tejas all the way up to a 50 BMG, and we're going to be shooting all those. They're going to have a TV crew out there. They're going to be filming all this. It's going to be really cool. Hopefully I'll have a signal so I can do some live broadcast while I'm out there too. So you guys be checking the Instagram, the Facebooks for those live feeds from Utah. Modern Spartan Systems. Also, Charlie's been using Modern Spartan Systems. I've been using them for over 6 years now. For all your gun cleaning, lubrication needs, Modern Spartan Systems. Check them out, modernspartansystems.com. And, of course, making this trip possible. And he also made the targets for this shot. It's our good buddy, Bud Sanson, over at X Steel Targets. X Steel Targets. The best, most affordable AR-500 steel targets on the market today, Big John. And you shot those at Big 3 East. He's now the official target supplier for Big 3 East as well.
Yes, sir.
So you got a chance to put some lead on his AR-500 steel targets out there. Did you shoot the Texas Star?
I did.
That was a good time, man. I enjoyed doing that.
Yep. And as far as Bud and his targets, I mean, if you look at the designs, he's using lasers to cut them, and he's not using welds. Everything's bolt together, and at the price that you can purchase them,
it's ridiculous.
They're on point.
Let me tell you something else that's on point with him and his targets and his prices. They are running a deal right now. 20% off everything. All their targets, 25%. So you go to their website, you use the code SPRING19, and you're going to get an additional 25% off. And, oh, by the way, if you're already a customer, leave a positive review on their Facebook page, and they're going to send you a 35% off everything coupon code. So, I mean, they're already like the best, most affordable AR-500 steel targets on the market, and they're making them even better by lowering the price. So now is the time to load up on your AR-500 steel targets.
I just wrote that down.
I saw you write. I saw you grab your pen. So I think we could probably hook you up with some targets there, Big John.
Sweet. Like to shoot.
Don't we all? I mean, this is a show called Talking Lead, and you would think that we like to shoot, and you think I'd have people on that like to shoot. I don't think I've had anybody on here that didn't like to shoot. I don't know. You ladies are going to have to let me know if we ever had anybody on here that really wasn't a shooter. We've had musicians on. We've had athletes on. We've had, oh my gosh, we've had people from all walks of life on this show. So there you go, guys. Take advantage of those deals, those specials. And then go and support also Kel-Tec Weapons, the makers of the awesome bullpup design. They've got the KSG shotgun. They got the new KS7 12-gauge shotgun bullpup. They got the RDB, the RFB. I don't know if you can see back here behind me or not, Big John, but I did a project lately. Our good buddies at Palmetto State Armory hooked me up with some things that I needed for some projects that I was working on. The PLR-16. You see it back there?
I sure do.
Do you recognize it? I bet you didn't recognize it at first, did you?
I didn't.
So I turned it into a, it's not SBR, it's a pistol brace. So I got a pistol brace on it. And then I've got the Midwest Industries handguard. It's a railed metal, lightweight handguard. And it really turned it into a really cool look, for one. It's got that next level coolness look to it. But, I mean, it's a fun gun to shoot. I don't know if you ever shot one or not, but Shooting that 5.56 223 out of that, it's really enjoyable. And then I've got this new muzzle brake, which I can't even tell you where I got that muzzle brake. I think I won it at a Iraq Veteran Range Day or something like that. I'll have to look and see who it's from, but it really disperses the gases out the front because it is a short, it's a short barrel. I don't know what the length is on it, but anyway. So yeah, make sure you guys go and support those that support this show, bringing it to you free every episode, no charge to you, and we actually pay you. I mean, we give you stuff all the time on this show. Pioneer Arms Corps, sponsors of our AK Corner, giving away 12 AK-47s during our series. We've got, episode 10 coming up, 11, 12, so 3 more to give away. I think were you there when we did the episode at Big 3?
I was walking past back and forth.
Okay.
I listened in on some of it.
So we did episode 10 at the Big 3 East, and Big John was at Big 3 East, if you hadn't picked up on that by now. Got a big announcement to make during that episode. So stay tuned for that. And we're giving away one of those PPS-43s. Instead of an AK-47, we're giving away a PPS-43. So just lots and lots of cool stuff coming up. Our sponsors are taking care of you lead heads. So go take care of them so they'll continue to bring this podcast to you, bring these deals to you week after week after week. Do you think I begged enough there? Is that enough begging?
It didn't sound like begging at all.
Okay. And I got to give a big shout out to Royal Range USA. As you guys were watching our social media this week, I did take the class. We had the Talking Lead hosted Rob Pincus class at the Royal Range here in Nashville. And it was a huge success. I think we had 9 students that came. And we even had a dude from Canada come. We had I think he was a firearms trainer up there. Not really sure who he was training. He was kind of a secret squirrel kind of guy. But really, really nice guy. But we had people from local here. We had Leadhead all the way from South Carolina that came in. So Pew Pew RN. Thank you for coming out. And he actually went home with one of those, the hollow sights, the Holosun. What are those armor? Do you know what those are called? I don't even know what they're called.
I don't know.
But it's your pistol red dot that goes on your pistol. He won one of those. We had a little cool shooting competition. Rob brought some cool guns out, and we were doing some fun stuff in between our breaks. And that's the kind of fun stuff you get by taking a Talking Lead hosted firearms training class. We make it fun, but you actually get leducated, because that's our goal, Big John, is to leducate the unleducated.
Leducation's a great and wonderful thing.
It is. When done right, it is. And you can rest assured that the people that we're bringing you are bringing you the proper information. So go check out Royal Range USA. Big thanks to Rob Pincus. Go check him out, his Instagram, his Facebook. He's done some posts there. He's going to be traveling around the rest of the United States. You can catch a class near you. The next Talking Lead sponsored or hosted class is going to be in Pala, California. And that's coming up in, as I'm typing up, just go to intuitiveshooting.com/calendar. You can see all the classes. They've got carbine classes. They've got defensive tactics, home defense tactics, all kinds of different classes that they offer. But the one in Pala, California, is going to be the Intuitive Defensive Shooting, July 17th and 18th. So you guys can go sign up for that. And if you are a lead head, make sure that you let them know that you are a lead head so that they can get you that discount. There's not a code set up or anything like that, but I think there's a notes section, so you let them know, and they're going to give you a nice little discount. So I don't know if I'm going to be attending that one or not. I'm going to try my best, but got a lot of stuff coming up in July. So yeah, go show some love to all our sponsors, all the friends of the show, and they'll love you back, man. So Jeremiah, before we get into the topic that I want to get into, we've got a train load of jackwagons to take care of this week. So Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
Okay, so the train has stationed. And you lead heads have, like I said last episode, you filled my inbox with jack wagons. So we're going to go through here and we're going to take care of some of these jack wagons real quick. I think probably the one that's on my mind the most is, we kind of talked about the California, the judge that ruled that their magazine ban was unconstitutional. I think we kind of mentioned that a little bit last episode. I want to get your take on that. Get an outside opinion on that one.
California magazine ban?
Yeah. Do you think it's one? I mean, you think they were right in overturning it? And did you read any of his logic behind it? And
we speed read it.
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, it was 86 freaking pages. I mean, I sped read it, went through it, but what really impressed me was the language that he was using with these people to demonstrate his disapproval, I guess, of their reasoning behind banning the magazine, the 30-round magazine. I mean, he was scathing, really, in his in his delivery. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, well written for sure. I could probably learn a few things if I read it a little bit more detailed. Yeah, so I can only hope at this point that it holds water when it gets to the Ninth Circuit.
Well, they've gone ahead and I think they put a stay on it. Our good buddy over at Mission First Tactical, David, who sent me, you guys know I redid my 300 Blackout, sent me some furniture and some magazines. Which, oh, by the way, if you haven't tried their magazines yet, Big John, their new 223-556, they work great.
I haven't. Big fan of their minimalist stock, though. Yeah,
I got one of those. I'll show it to you here in a second. I even did the little weave on it that they do. But they work great with 300 Blackout rounds. Some magazines are a little touchy with the 300 Blackout.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know what they've done, but it's like a perfect fit for the 300 Blackout. But anyway, I touched base with him because when that all came out, I was like teasing him about how he needs to double production on their magazines or triple production. It lasted for about 2 days. And then that stay was issued, and they're not able to sell to California until it's a final ruling on this. So you guys get behind our brothers and sisters in California. And, we don't really have a say in what happens in California, but the more pressure that you get from all angles is better, right?
What exactly is a stay? Do you know what a stay is?
It just means that, okay, it's good. I mean, he's made this ruling, but until it can be, verified, it's not going to go into effect.
Okay.
So it was in actual effect for 2 days. And then they got an order that said, okay, you're not overturning it until it's reviewed. So they appealed it. They have the right to appeal. So as it goes through the appeal process, the original law stays in place. But those 2 days that were open there, all that's legal.
Oh, yes. The internet almost broke on that one.
Oh, I'm sure it did. And I was asking him how his sales went. I was actually going to go and look and see if everybody's sold out, but I hadn't had a chance to go through, look at Palmetto State or Mission First. But anyway, hopefully that will, that'll stand up. But you guys got to get in touch with your local representatives, your politicians there, and let them know that you want that overturned to stay in place. So I wanted to mention that. There's a little update on that. And then now let's go to our inbox, our Jackwagon inbox. And this one comes from Leadhead Jason Edgar. And Jason is throwing Cory Booker on the Jackwagon train. He is a presidential hopeful. He's running for on the ticket of the Democratic Party for the next presidential election. So the reason that Jason is throwing him on, it says, Cory Booker introduces Senate bill on slavery reparations. The senator from New Jersey said Monday that this bill is a way of addressing head-on the persistence of racism, white supremacy, and implicit racial bias in our country. It will bring together the best minds to study the issues and propose solutions that will finally begin to right the economic scales of past harms and make sure we are a country where all dignity and humanity is affirmed, whatever that means. Jason goes on to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the Democratic Party that was for slavery back in the day? ? That's a little sarcasm there. Maybe we should come up with a bill to address that wrongdoing. Maybe the Democratic Party should fund the reparations. Hey, Corey, just another way to divide our great nation. So he sends a link here. This is Fox News. So Fox has this. You guys want to go on this. So basically, Senator Cory Booker on Monday introduced a bill that would study the possibility of reparations for descendants of slaves, embracing a push that recently has caught the interest of fellow 2020 Democratic presidential candidates. The measure is a Senate companion to a bill introduced to the House of Representatives in January by Sheila Jackson of Texas, which, if passed into law, would set up a commission to study the impact of slavery and continued discrimination against black Americans and make recommendations on reparation proposals. And when they're saying reparation, they're talking about pain. They're talking about taxpayers paying. This is not, coming from Bloomberg's personal funds or, any of those guys. But they're going to pay the descendants of slaves some monetary amount, however they come up with it. The legislation was first introduced 30 years ago by then Republican John Conyers of Michigan. Since slavery in this country, we have had overt policies fueled by white supremacy and racism that has oppressed African Americans economically for generations, Booker added. Many of our bedrock domestic policies that have ushered millions of Americans into the middle class have systematically excluded blacks through practices like GI Bill discrimination and redlining. So, it sounds to me like they're trying to buy votes. I mean, just plain and simple, it sounds to me like he's just trying to buy votes here. Nobody is arguing the fact that slavery is bad. I mean, that shouldn't even be an issue these days. I would have to read more about this policy to see what he's proposing, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
He's Cory Booker, man. He's Spartacus. with your shield or on it, right?
So when you say that, you go into a little more detail because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, when they're looking to appoint Brett Kavanaugh as a Supreme Court justice, Cory Booker, with his microphone, is talking to the cameras on how he's waited his entire life for an I am Spartacus moment, and that this time was it. And he was going to break Senate rules by divulging some information, to the world.
Right.
Little did he know that information had already been released.
Or did he know that it had already been released? I think he damn well knew it had already been released, and that's why he did that, because he knew there was not going to be any repercussions for him from his actions.
This is also true. Yeah,
that is very true. I guarantee you. It's all staged.
Yeah,
it's just like this proposal that he's proposing here. It's just a way to buy votes.
So I just Googled him. He's been a politician since 2006 and a senator since 2013. And now he's running for president, and he wants to study the possibility of reparations.
Does it say his net worth on there?
I'm sure I could find it.
I'm sure he's a millionaire.
I bet it's not a low number.
No, I'm sure he's a millionaire. All right, so I mean, I can agree with your jackwagon pick there. I mean, he's against guns and he's wanting to do gun control and all that. So I mean, that alone, he's a jackwagon. So, welcome to the Jackwagon Train, Cory Booker. All right, so let's do this one. So this one comes to us from. So this is Jason Edgar Didn't Jason just send us that one? Wasn't that Jason Edgar? Yeah, Jason Edgar. So Jason Edgar's got 2. So I think I'm going to make Jason Edgar like my sergeant of arms of jackwagons, because he's got several here that he sent in. So he's on it, man.
Do it.
Yeah, you're going to be my Jason Edgar. You're the Leadhead Brigade Sergeant of Arms. There you go. Just made it official. So this is a New Hanover man was arrested on animal cruelty charges after he allegedly failed to provide fresh water and food to his pet fish. So here's the link, and this is on WECT6 News. Man accused of abandoning fish faces animal cruelty charges. Michael Ray Henson, 53, was taken into custody on Wednesday and charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor cruelty to animals. This is the fish, by the way. And 1 count of abandonment of an animal. He was given a $4,000 unsecured bond and later released from jail. Lieutenant Jerry Brewer, spokesperson for the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office, said Henson was evicted from his home. Okay, so he's evicted. When you get evicted, you don't have access to get back on premises. On wherever it was, it gave the address. Deputies with the agency's civil unit went to the home the following Monday and noticed that Henson left behind an Oscar fish that was in poor health and swimming in a dirty tank. Well, he was evicted. If you're evicted, don't they lock you out and you can't have access? So, you may not know this about me, but I do real estate on the side now. Used to be my main thing, but I do it on the side now. Mm-hmm. And I helped some property managers and stuff, and we had to evict people. And from time to time, I mean, you give them notice, and you don't pay, blah blah blah, you're going to be evicted. 9 times out of 10, people grab their shit and they go, and they're out. Maybe that's what this guy did, but if they don't, then we go and we have the sheriff or whatever, they come and padlock the door, So I don't know what the case is here with this guy. Did he have an opportunity to get his fish out? Didn't he have an opportunity to get his fish out? Anyway, where am I at with this? So he left behind an Oscar fish that was in poor health and swimming in a dirty tank. Ethan Lane with the fish room, where the fish is being nursed back to health, said an Oscar fish is about $40 to $50 to purchase, which is ridiculous for a fish. Holy crap. My God, I mean, you can go eat one for cheaper than that. You can go to Long John Silver and have a good, 5-piece fish meal for what, $10?
Right?
Get some of that malt vinegar on there. That's good stuff. But they can grow up to 16 inches long. They are great pets. This is a quote. We call them wet pets. Is a fish really a pet?
That's a good question.
Or is it... I don't know. They are very trainable. How do you train a fish? They have huge personalities. Some of them can be aggressive, Lane explained. So a fish is trainable. And they're not fish. A dolphin's a mammal. It's not a fish. That's the only thing I know that's trainable. Have you ever seen a bass? Anybody train a bass? You ever seen anybody train a guppy? You can't train a fish. What the hell is this guy talking about? And they have huge personalities. How can a fish have a personality? A cat has a personality. A dog has a personality. A fish does not have a personality. Oh my gosh! So they're trying to make. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I was just thinking, and it is a fish. He just got evicted out of his apartment, and I'm certain that his fish could very easily be the last thing on his mind.
Right?
Yeah. So I mean, someone who's getting evicted probably isn't the most.
I mean, they had to
individual.
track this guy down. Think of all the taxpayers' money that they wasted having to track this guy down, arrest him, process him, put him in jail, house him, feed him, whatever they had to do. And then now he's got to go through the court process, which I'm sure is going to be paid for by taxpayers' dollars, over a fucking $50 fish at most.
Because he forgot his fish.
Or he just wasn't allowed access to get his fish. I mean, we don't know.
Yes.
Don't know. So it says, when deputies seized the fish, it appeared to be malnutritioned and suffering from hole-in-the-head disease, which is caused by poor water quality and lack of food.
I think we got
which he was evicted from his property. He had no access to it. Oh, my gosh. So if anything, the landlord should be sued for this. Oh, my gosh. So I'm not going to read any more. You can see how ridiculous this is. And I'm not throwing this guy on the jackwagon train. I mean, he may be a douchebag. He may be a royal douchebag, this Michael Ray Henson guy. I don't know. But the fact that the police department is getting involved with this and wasting, where is this at? New Hanover County. North Carolina? I guess that's in North Carolina. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
We have a lot of Americans with hole-in-the-head disease.
No doubt.
Cory Booker.
It says hole-in-the-head disease, or hole-in-the-head is somewhat common in Oscar fish. So it's a common thing anyway. Oh, my gosh. All right. So, yeah, that's a good jackwagon, but I'm not throwing dude on that. I don't know who you're meaning for the jackwagon train. Jason, but it ain't this guy. It's the freaking police for doing all this. All right, so now let's go. Here's a good one. It kind of ties into last episode's jackwagon. So if you guys haven't listened, go back listen. But there were a couple of jackwagons last episode. These guys were shooting each other with .22 caliber rifle, wearing a bulletproof vest. And this one kind of ties into that because I kind of got into, well, what's illegal about that if they're both consenting to it? You know, is there anything illegal about that you know of?
That's a good question. I'm not a law enforcement officer, but I've seen, I guess, similar things. Yeah. Like, they're not the first people that have tried that stunt.
Well, there was this one dude and chick that were social media people, and they got a Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Yeah, the girl killed the dude
because he was holding a phone book. It was like like one of those big, thick, like New York phone books or something.
Yeah,
and they thought that would stop the 50 cal. And they didn't even test it first. They didn't put it like on a tree and shoot it. They just like, wow, that's gonna stop. No way a bullet can get through that. and he's dead. Womp womp womp. So anyway, this one comes to us from Kenneth H. McGee. And this is home. This is like local here in Nashville. So this is my backyard. Nashville man facing charges for shooting man with pellet gun. So Nashville, Tennessee. A Nashville man was charged with aggravated assault Wednesday evening after he allegedly shot a man in the forehead with a pellet gun. Police say 53-year-old Lee Kimball of North Carolina was on a Lyle Avenue sidewalk when he was hit in the forehead. Kimball was treated at Vanderbilt. Police say the pellet was still in his forehead when he got to the hospital. Officers found a target pinned to a tree close to where Kimball was hit. An apartment on 20th Avenue South was lined up with the target. So they used like forensics on this, man. They used like bullet trajectory and everything to nail this dude. The man who lives in that apartment, identified as 38-year-old James Wheeler, told police that he was testing a new scope on his pellet rifle. Wheeler was charged with aggravated assault, and his bond was set at $7,500.
Yeah, that just happened.
That happened here in Nashville, Tennessee. And you can go to news4, WSMV.com, news4, if you want to read more on that. But there you go. I mean, yeah, you can't do that. If you set your target up, hit your target. Apparently his scope was out. It was a new scope. I'll give him that one. He was sighting it in. Dude just happened to be in the way.
Yeah, we got those basic rules of firearm safety. They're there for a reason.
So we got Kenneth, we got Jason Edgar. Here's another. Kenneth sent another one. He sent a link. This is just a link, and they're on the Jackwagon train. It's Moms Demand Action, and he sent me a link to Moms Demand Action Tennessee. So I guess he's just making me aware that they're in Tennessee, which I knew they were here. Let's see their latest. Let's just read their latest post, Moms Demand Action Tennessee, April 5th at 4:45 p.m. Tennessee Moms Demand Action is making the calls, sitting in legislative hearings and battling the gun lobby every step of the way on dangerous gun bills in Tennessee. Bills like K-12 teachers, gutting our permit system, and overstepping a business owner's right to post a no firearm sign. We won't win every battle, but you can expect us to do everything we can to keep our families and communities safe. Your involvement is critical to our success in creating an America free from everyday gun violence. Please consider contribution to our fundraiser page and sharing it with family and friends. We can end gun violence. Donate here. And unicorns and leprechauns and yeah, they live in a fantasy world.
Donate here.
But overstepping a business owner's right to post, we have no problem with business owners, and if they want to post a no firearm sign, they can do that. They have the right to do that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ignore it. Because that's my right. And if they want to ask me to leave, guess what? I'll leave. And they won't ever get my business again. But they're not ever going to know I'm carrying unless a bad guy comes in there and starts shooting up their money sources, their money cows, which they can't live without. And then they're going to thank me. And then they're going to change their policy. So there you go.
Amen.
And it's not illegal to carry your firearm in a no firearm, business. If they have a sign that says no firearms and you carry your firearm in there, don't open carry it. Don't be a douche. Conceal carry it if it's legal in your state. In Tennessee, it's legal. Okay? And you can do that. Just don't let them know you're carrying. It's that simple. And then when you need to save the day, and hopefully you've taken the proper training and you know how, when the situation arises, to use your firearm, then you'll be a hero, and then they'll change their policy. So I don't know what your man. I don't know if Mom's Demand Act. They're jackwagons. We know that. Yeah. I think he's just making me aware that they're in Tennessee, and I knew that. So thank you for sending that, buddy. Appreciate it. So that brings us to a suggestion that we had last week, which was Jeffrey Haddix. And Jeffrey Haddix, and you guys can go back to last episode. But basically, he wanted to honor Judge Roger T. Bennett, which was the U.S. District Court judge that ruled California's ban on high-capacity magazines unconstitutional, as an opposite of a jackwagon. So since then, I've asked you guys, all right, let's do that. Let's start honoring people who do the good fight the good fight. And we'll honor Judge Roger T. Bennett, even though his judgment is in stay and it may not hold up. At least, he made the effort, and he kind of hopefully started this trend. But we asked for some names for that from you guys, and I got a couple of you sent some stuff in. I want to hear more. I want to hear more from you leadheads on how we go about doing this. I want to hear nominations for it, just like we do the jackwagons. But what are we going to call them? They're not jackwagons. They're not opposite jackwagons. What are we going to call them? So let's see. Jacob Rozecki, which Jacob was with us at SHOT Show. He was down there helping us out. He was one of our men on the street. He says, how about Freedom Train? And we could call the vehicle the Freedom Train, but what are we calling the individuals? What are we calling the people? That's what I want to know. What are we calling these patriots? But I like Freedom Train. So Jackwagon Train, Freedom Train. Or maybe they're on the jet. We gotta upgrade them, right? They can't be on a train because they're doing good stuff. So let's put them on. What would be like executive? What would be like really pampering somebody, Big John?
Oh, I mean, my mind's just going a million miles an hour.
Or maybe we put them in the tank.
I see bald eagles in red, white, and blue.
Pissing freedom, yeah.
Yes.
But what do we put them in? We don't put them on a train. We gotta give them something luxurious, something, or maybe something beefy like a tank. I don't know. So that's something else. You guys tell me it's not going to be a train. I mean, it could be freedom, but it can't be a train. It's got to be something more luxurious because we're pampering these people because they're doing good stuff. So let's do that. So Jacob, thank you for that. Next one comes from, this is no surprise, Jason Edgar. He's our sergeant at arms. So he says, "Hey Lefty, I thought for a while that there should be a segment like this. Well, why didn't you speak up? You could have been the spearhead of this. Here's my idea to name the segment of Jackwagon Opposites, but I do think that there should be limitations to the nominations. No kitten rescues from trees and such." Well, I mean it's kind of obvious. So his first one is Gunny's Valor. I like that, Gunny's Valor. Twofold: to honor Arlie Ermy, God rest his soul. And Webster's definition of valor is strength of mind or spirit that enables a person to encounter danger with firmness. Second, personal bravery. Just perfect for the name and explains it perfectly. Oh, and I added the definition to just simply explain myself in writing. Well, I mean, that's what you got to do, bro. So Gunny's Valor, I kind of like that.
I think Gunny would approve.
Freedom Train, but we're not going to use train. I don't think we have. What are your suggestions, Big John?
Yeah, train's not going to work.
No, it can't be a train. So we got to go with like a Learjet or maybe a yacht. Some kind of they're sitting back, they're sipping Mai Tais, they're relaxing because they're good guys. Or they're just like in a freaking tank and just rolling over all the jack wagons, kind of thing. Taking out trains.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I want the vehicle, and it could be a train because there are luxury trains out there too. But I think we should do something opposite. So we're doing the Jackwagon Train, so it needs to be something opposite of a train. So let's do that. You guys come up with the best suggestion for that, and then what we call them other than jackwagons. So they can't be jackwagons. And then I want to start seeing submissions for candidates for this. And there's going to be two suggestions there. So for the actual name of what we're going to call these individuals or group of people, whatever it may be, and the type of, and I quote, vehicle that's going to be carting them around. I'm going to be giving away some awesome rewards for you guys. So whatever we pick to be it, you're going to win something awesome. I don't know what's going to be it. It's going to be awesome. We got our 300th episode coming up, Big John.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. 6.5 years, 300 episodes, and we're going to do something awesome for that episode too. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to do something awesome. So you guys stay tuned for that. So let's do this. All right, Gunny, haul that train out of here. And I'm looking forward to seeing those suggestions from you lead heads. TalkingLead@gmail.com, and then put in the subject opposite jackwagon or something along those lines so I know what it is when I get it. And we'll start taking those. We'll give you guys, like 3 or 4 episodes to start getting those in, because I know people are like 4 or 5 episodes behind, 3 or 4 episodes behind. But get caught up, because we're doing great things. We're giving stuff away. Take part, be engaging on social media, and we reward you for that. So let's get into our guest now. I mean, I took a long time with this jackwagon train. Sorry about that. We had a lot to catch up with. But Jeremiah McCarthy, our guest this episode, published writer. He's in prestigious magazines, FMG, which they have a whole line of magazines, which include...
FMG's got American Handgunner, Guns Magazine, and then maybe half a dozen, special interest publications, annuals, if you will. Annuals, like Big Bore, Concealed Carry, Survive's one. Okay,
Survive. That sounds interesting.
I had one in Survive this past year. It was on tourniquets.
Oh, you're talking about tourniquets?
I did a little tourniquet roundup.
Very cool. Were you comparing tourniquets side by side?
It wasn't an evaluation. It was more like, this is why tourniquets are important. This is why everybody should carry one. These are basics on how to use them. And then here's some good tourniquets to select from.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Now, with your time with the military, and you're full-time National Guard now.
Yes.
But you've done some pretty prestigious training. And I know we can't say of who or what you do, but I mean, you're not just a training NCO.
Correct.
You do a lot more that's above and beyond that kind of training. You get into some of our more elite forces as far as that goes.
Yeah. So if we look at my military service, knocking on the door of 18 years total service. Mm-hmm. Couple deployments with 10th Mountain Division on the active duty side when I was younger, both to Afghanistan. Graduated Ranger School in 2006. And then was an instructor at Ranger School from like 2007 to 2011.
There you go. See, I mean, you've got quite the resume right there. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there, let our listeners know, kind of your background and your history there. So when we're talking about tourniquets, I mean, you've used these things in real world. You know what's shit, what's not shit, why you need them.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. You've written an article recently, and this kind of gets us into our big topic that I want to talk about. You were down we were down there together for the Big 3 East, but prior to that, you were invited down to Kalashnikov, USA.
Yes, sir.
And you got exclusive kind of hands-on with their new, and this is our topic. It's not a pistol. It's not a rifle. It's not a shotgun. It's a firearm. It's just a firearm.
It's a firearm.
It's called the Comrade. It's the street legal 12 gauge Comrade with a K. That's where my topic's headed, is where's this in between? It doesn't require it's not NFA. And it's not a what's the other classification? All other weapons, AOW?
Any other weapon.
Yeah, any other. It's not any other weapon category either.
No.
And it's perfectly legal. And there's no tax stamps. You buy it just like you would. I mean, you got to do the background check, right? Still got to do the background check and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, still got to go through NICS.
So that's so that's what I kind of want to talk about now, because it's been around. I mean, it's always been there, but it seems like it was hidden. And until people actually looked at the laws and the rules and it was like either it's got to be a rifle or it's got to be a pistol. And if it's not one of those, then it's an SBR, and you got to do the tax stamp, or it's an any other weapon, and you got to do the tax stamp, which is like only $5 or $10. But on those, but I think the people who really kicked it off was who really kind of started this. It was the shotgun. Who was that? Who did that? The Shockwave.
Yep, Mossberg Shockwave.
The Mossberg Shockwave kind of really got in that, and it's not gray. There's no gray area. I mean, it's black and white. That's what it is. And they came out with that 12-gauge Shockwave that people were like, I can own this. I don't have to register it, and I don't have to go through NFA. It was like, no. You just go through, do your normal background check, and you take it home. And that's where KUSA has kind of come in with this Comrade. So talk about the Comrade. And you guys can go to gunsmagazine.com and read Jeremiah's article, Big John. It's under Jeremiah McCarthy, so don't get, when you see his name, it's not Big John. it's Jeremiah McCarthy. So talk about it. Talk about your experience going down there and what all you learned about the Comrade.
Yes. So it was great going down to KUSA and seeing that they're actually building guns. They've been teasing us with their 9mm AK for years now, and they're finally building and shipping those.
So I gotta tell you that when they first came into existence, they had AK-47s, and they were producing, and I got one of the first ones, and I broke it, as I think everybody did, and that's kind of why we don't see their AK-47s anymore. But they have since regrouped, brought in new personnel, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yep. So recently in the last 4-6 months, Johnny Mossberg has taken over as CEO of KUSA. That is Mossberg of the Mossberg family.
Like the Mossberg we were just talking about, the Shockwave.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense that, okay, this is where the Comrade came from.
Mm-hmm. So Johnny is very much the entrepreneur, very much the businessman, and, has left, the Mossberg company to venture out on his own. And, he's taken over as the CEO for KUSA, and he's brought in a team of industry veterans, so guys that actually know how to build guns, guys that actually know how to ship guns and sell guns. So there's some exciting things happening. And as far as AK, 7.62x39 AK is concerned from KUSA, I believe that the Comrade, which they just released in the past couple of weeks, is just to tide us over. They're currently in development of an AK-103.
Okay, very nice.
No insight regarding when that might come out, but
I can tell you this. Since you and I have talked, I've been in touch with Bill Gentry, who is newly hired over their marketing and
marketing and sales.
Yeah, marketing and sales. We're going to be getting them on the AK corner, guys. So we'll have a lot more information on what Jeremiah is talking about right now. Give you more details on that. So stay tuned for that. Go ahead.
Yep. So went down to visit their facility, and they were showing off their new Comrade. You're looking at a Sega pattern AK, chambered in 12 gauge with a 12.5-inch long shorty barrel and an SBA 3 pistol brace. And what you wind up with is
5-round mag.
They do 5 and 10 round mags.
5 and 10, okay.
And I want to say it will ship with at least 1 5-round mag and maybe 2 5-round mags, with the 10 round mags being sold on their website.
And this is categorized. It's not a shotgun. It's not a pistol. It's just a firearm.
Yep, it's just a firearm. You're looking at a
firearm.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with overall length, I believe. You're looking at an overall length between 30 and a quarter and 33 inches on the Comrade.
Mm-hmm.
And I really see you're seeing lots of guns or lots of new products taking advantage of the ATF's ruling on pistol braces and what you can or cannot do with them.
Yeah, and that's with their back and forth on whether you can shoulder it, where you can't shoulder it. I can shoulder it this day, I can't shoulder it this day, but now I can shoulder it. But I think the final, is that it doesn't matter. I mean, you can shoulder it, whatever. But until it goes to court, which I think it did, and the defendant won. I think there was a case, and I think we talked about it. If you guys go back a few episodes back, there was a case where a guy was, I don't want to say sued, but he got taken to court. He had not an SBR, but he had an AR pistol, and he had a pistol brace on it, and they determined that he was legal in owning it or whatever. But anyway, this is a whole different category. This is not any of that. But it does have to have, it can't have a buttstock. So once you start putting buttstocks on it, what's classified or considered a buttstock, then it falls out of this firearm category. And that's something that I want to go ahead and cut to, and you and I will come back. No, actually, I want you to finish your story on the comrade first. We're going to let Big John finish his story on the comrade, but that's going to get us into our interview from Big 3 East, where we had Steve Troy on, and they are making a 5.56 firearm. It's not a pistol, it's not an AR pistol, it's not an AR rifle, it's an AR firearm. And I don't think they're using AR, it's just a firearm. But go ahead with your comrade's story, but that's going to get us into that interview.
Yep. So I really like what manufacturers are doing with pistol braces these days.
Yes.
And I almost think that eventually, maybe down the road, there will be a new classification created for these firearms. And I do air quotes on firearms.
But do you think it's going to be an FFA, an NFA classification?
I hope not.
But I kind of think that's where I kind of think it's where it's, because they always talk about these loopholes.
And when I think of the pistol brace, if the ATF was to ever change their mind on pistol braces, as it, from where it stands now, I would hope at that point pistol braces would be very much in common use.
I think they already are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really think they are. I think if you look at accessories sold, and I would love to see a study on this, but I think if you look at I'm going to say AR accessories sold, because that's what they're for, or the AR platform, basically. Percentage of sales of those versus any other accessory, I guarantee you those far exceed anything else. Just my personal observation or opinion.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I would say number one.
Because you look at all the companies that are doing it now. I mean, I can't think of a company that's not making a pistol brace.
Right.
And they've got them for the ARs, they got them for the AKs, they got them for, I don't know, did they have them for shotguns? I haven't really seen one for a shotgun, but I'm sure there are. And that's one that you would want a pistol brace for, because you would want that strapped on if you were going to shoot a 12 gauge.
Absolutely.
But this, let's talk about the comrade a little bit more. Talk a little more detail about, because it does have the brace on it. And it does, here's another thing that I found interesting, is that it has to have a forward grip to fall in this classification. If it doesn't have a forward grip, then it falls out of that classification.
Yep.
Which is interesting, because on a pistol, so if you got an AR pistol, you cannot have a forward grip.
Who writes this stuff?
Right? Yep. So talk about the comrade there. Talk about the features.
As you mentioned, the comrade does ship with a forward grip. You're looking at a tri-rail fore-end, KUSA fore-end, threaded muzzle, and the SBA3 brace.
So it is a threaded muzzle.
It does.
Okay. And it comes with the SB tactical brace?
Yep.
Which that's nice, because you don't need a special plate in the back, because it goes into the grip, right? It mounts into the grip. So yeah, that makes it really nice. And if you go to, like I said, gunmagazines.com/shotguns, the street legal 12-gauge comrade, you'll find Big John's article there, the street legal 12-gauge comrade. Really good article. I mean, I know you didn't have a lot of time there. What, in your opinion, I mean, you got to shoot it. How'd it feel?
Mm-hmm. The gun shoots well. I mean, we shot all day at their indoor range at KUSA, and maybe only a couple of observed malfunctions. The Comrade has an adjustable gas regulator on it for whether you're shooting low recoiling or high recoiling loads.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
And so, like
feature.
the few cycling issues that we observed could be attributed to like quickly switching between slugs or buckshot and not switching the setting on the gas regulator.
Right.
Either that or a weak shooting stance.
Limp wristing it.
Yeah, limp wristing the firearm. Yeah, so she chambers 2 3/4 inch and 3-inch shells. Shot both buckshot and slugs. Shooting slugs is okay. Recoil doesn't bother me. But
yeah, you're like 6'5", what, 230? I don't know.
yeah, I'm up there.
Big John McCarthy.
Yeah, so shooting 3-inch slugs, she'll push you around a little bit, but that's to be expected, from such a tiny 12 gauge.
So you were shouldering this. I mean, you really wouldn't want to. I mean, you could. It's designed to wrap around the wrist and one arm shoot it if you had to or wanted to. But then again, they've got the forward grip for another hand, but this is designed for disabled. I'm just kidding. I was thinking through the lot. There should be no NFA. The NFA should be dissolved. Should be no NFA. It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. So also while you were there, you got the opportunity to tour the factory, the KUSA factory. So give us your impressions of the overall factory there.
Yeah, so the factory is huge. I do not know or remember the actual square footage off the top of my head, but they're maybe using 15% of their available warehouse space
so they're
to assemble guns.
Expecting expansion.
Which is a great problem to have.
Sure.
They just released their 9mm last year, and we got the Comrade this month. With a little bit of luck, we'll have an AK-103, sometime in the near future.
Right.
And I think KUSA is going to be doing really well under the leadership of Johnny Mossberg, and they have plenty of room to expand.
Right. Yeah, I think that's well planned out. I mean, like we spoke earlier about this, when they first got started. I think that's what they were kind of banking everything on, is those AKs that they first came out with was really taking off, and they were just going to fill that real quick. They hit a hiccup. Unforeseen things happen. But they've taken the steps. They brought in, they've cleaned house. A whole new CEO, got a whole new marketing guy with Bill Gentry. The CEO, Jonathan Mossberg, which, I mean, who can deny the success that Mossberg has had?
And he is
the Mossberg. And when you say Mossberg, he's the shotgun Mossberg guy, right?
Yep. One quick thing on Johnny Mossberg and quality control. It's so important to him. One of the things I learned during my visit is that when they proof their barrels, when they shoot overpressure loads out of their shotgun barrels, when they pass the test, Johnny Mossberg is applying that proof stamp by hand, like himself personally.
Oh,
so that's
wow.
how serious he takes his quality control.
Yeah. And being fresh there, I mean, I'm guaranteeing he's like all over it, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. So any 7.62 by 39 AK that comes out of the KUSA facility should be top notch.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to having these guys on the AK corner. We're going to get more details. I don't think we're going to get Jonathan Mossberg on, maybe, but I know Bill Gentry's going to be on. We're going to get their top engineer guy on an upcoming AK corner, and we'll find out all about the the upcoming projects that they have. But that brings me to our interview that we did with Steve Troy down at Big 3 East. And really got to, I've always been friends with Steve, and like one of the first ARs I ever owned was a Troy. This is a good interview. It's a long interview. Take your time, take a break, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, come back, listen to it in segments. That's what podcasts are all about. But he has got a very good explanation and definition of what this firearm is. He has cleaned house. He's got new staff, just like KUSA did. Troy has gone through, cleaned house. He's got a new vice president of the company. Just so happens to be his wife. But it's more family oriented now, which I like. And I've always liked Steve, and I like their products and things that they're doing. And he's talking about how they've diversified. So this interview was from Big 3 East, and you guys are really going to enjoy it, and it ties into what Big John and I have been talking about here with this, quote, gray area firearm, which it's not gray. And we got our good buddy Curtis Hallstrom from VSO Gun Channel joining us on this interview as well. So we're going to cut that in. We're going to come back. We're going to get more from Jeremiah. We're going to hit him with the new guy questions. Gunny, roll that beautiful bean footage. Very cool. All right, leadheads, we are back at the Big 3 East 2019 edition. And what does he call this? It's not DeLand. It's, I always forget. It's Fox Bay or Tiger Bay. That's what it is. We're at Tiger Bay. Did you ever know it was called Tiger Bay, Steve?
I saw the sign on the way in for the Tiger Bay State Forest. I had no idea it was tied to this.
Okay, I didn't either.
Oh.
No, that's what he's calling it this year. It's always something a little different. Joining me now is a familiar voice, no stranger to you lead heads. We've got the owner of Troy Industries. We've got Steve Troy. And Steve has brought along one of his lovely assistants, or probably his boss, I would say. We've got Mrs. Troy.
Good morning.
Tracy, do you want to put your name out there?
Tracy Troy.
There you go, Tracy Troy. That's got a flow to it.
It does.
TT.
What's your middle name?
You got to turn it on. What's your middle name? Does it start with a T also?
No, it's Hinkle.
Hinkle?
Yes.
Okay. What nationality is that?
It's German.
German, that's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you've got some new things, new and exciting things from Troy coming around. And I'm looking at these right now, and this is actually something that I've been searching for.
Okay.
You've got some nice one-piece scope mounts.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of things that's been happening at Troy. One is Tracy is our vice president of sales and marketing, and she comes from a commercial energy background where she was vice president of sales in a company where she herself was doing $12 million as well as overseeing the rest of the company's sales force. So she comes from an extremely strong sales background. And as a result of that, we gave her international sales to start off with, and international is now about 75% of our business.
Wow.
So that's purely because of the growth that Tracy's put down on it.
Way to go, TT.
Thanks.
Yeah. So she's done unbelievably, and in the last month and a half, she's taken over VP of all sales and marketing efforts, including domestic. So we're seeing a lot of big changes at Troy because now we have an actual person that comes from a structured sales background and is implementing change rapidly, maybe too rapid for some to stomach, but we'll see.
Get used to it, right?
Yeah. It's a whole new thing, and as some people have said at the company, there's a new sheriff in town.
There you go.
So it's going really well, and I'm proud to have her by my side. It's just it's very rare that somebody can have their wife and their life partner actually work with them on a daily basis. We do all our travel together. International has been exploding for us, so we've been doing a lot of travel.
Talk about the international. What are you doing internationally?
We're doing a lot of rifles internationally. That seems to be the big program. We've always had a presence in the military internationally.
Sure.
The Czech Army, the Israeli Army, the French Army, the Italian Special Forces, they all use our sites and other parts, which has been good for us. And now along with that, we've got an introduction to a lot of like tier 1 law enforcement groups throughout Europe and elsewhere that have invited us in, seen our product, and frankly, there's not a lot of competition over there. And as far as being on the level,
Just don't tell anyone.
there's very few. It's been a restricted market, and a lot of the EU standards have been that's got to be made in the EU, kind of like our Berry compliance that we have here in the States. They have similar things. So there's been lockouts, but with special forces units, we've always had good luck because they have their own budget and they can buy what they want and they test what they want to bring in, and luckily we come out on top every time. And I attribute that to my team of who's building this, engineering it, and making it. And it's, the testing that it goes through is pretty elaborate. And I'm proud of my team to be able to say, hey, our stuff was selected not on price. It was selected because it's the best out there. And the new French Army contract, Tracy just got the French Special Forces contract for our offset sites. And that's been great business for us, and it's a great group that's over there.
Is that one of their, you said there's one of their special forces?
All of their special forces.
All their special forces?
Yeah, they're using on the new 416F model that they have, which is good.
Do you speak French?
No.
No.
Working on it?
A little bit.
That sounds like a pretty good contract there.
Yeah.
Keep up relations.
I have a lot of languages I have to learn.
Yeah.
No.
Non, mais oui.
No.
I took 2 years of French in high school, and I can't speak a lick of French.
I took German.
Oh, well, go figure.
Yeah.
You had a little curve there, didn't you?
Well, I'm actually Norwegian. Just happened to have a little German in me as well.
I got you.
Yeah.
A Ouija germ.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're doing business in about 40 countries right now, and it's been great for us. We put the time and the money into our compliance section. We have 3 people. That's all they do is export compliance for us, and they deal with the ATF and ITAR side and everything. That's great. We put the money into them, and now that's allowed us to expand, and especially with the kind of the crash that's happened here.
Right. You got to reach out,
Right.
So you've diversified into other countries, found that niche. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
And people want quality product. It's not about all low-end, the $600 AR-15.
Yeah.
So so I brought some things today that
got some toys
to show you, and I noticed you eyeballed the scope mount right away.
Yes.
So we recently completed the CSAS contract, and we ended up submitting sites through several companies, and we were looking at doing our own rifle for it. And we did all the development work, rolled up the rifle, and this was kind of a part of that whole program, which gave us a lot of commercialized product, and we got the contract with the U.S. Army for the sights. So we got part of it, so HK is using all the Troy offsets on the M110C, or the M110A1 is how it's officially designated, we're proud of that. But along the way, we came up with some pretty great stuff. So we designed a new scope mount. There's a lot of monolithic mounts that are out there. We did some changes on this. One is we put the nuts out to the right-hand side, and that prevents it from gauging your gear on your chest and everything, because when it's on the left side, anything that gun touches, it's going to grab at. And plus, most of the bolts on most scope mounts that are out there, they stick out quite a bit from the base.
Right.
So what we did is we half the bolts, or half the nuts down, so there's absolutely no snag. We radius the top edge of them, and now we're using the shoulder of the nut to pull full force against the clamp. So you're getting a more even clamping surface. When you pull down, it actually sets inside the clamp, and then the shoulder is actually what's holding that clamp against the rail, as opposed to just being the point load of the bottom of the nut on the outside surface of the clamp.
Right.
So we have a lot more precision on how this thing's force is applied to the rail. We're also lugging it, so you've got positive engagement going down, and we've lightened it. So this mount's 5.5 ounces.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing right off is the weight on these things.
And it's it's a ruggedized scope mount. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see any competition for this in the marketplace today. And everything.
What sizes are we doing here?
So we're doing 30,
rings.
34, and 35 millimeter.
Okay.
The rings and the dovetail. What we do is we qualify that with an EDM after machining. So we start off with a big block of metal, and then we machine it all down, and then we serialize it. So the rings are serialized the ring caps are serialized to the base. We use stainless steel inserts on the underside, but when in the machining process, we actually use an EDM. So we have a perfect bore, perfectly centered over the rail every single time. There's no way to not do that. And the rings are actually sliced by the EDM too. So these things are married from the beginning as it's in aluminum.
Just let it go.
So this one here is an FDE 34 millimeter or 35. Let's see. This one is the 34 20 MOA downslope.
Okay.
And it's simply marked right here. PRML means precision rifle mount long, 34 millimeter, 20 MOA, serial number of the mount. And on the other side, just there's a torquing spec of 65 inch-pounds.
All right. Can I look at that?
So
one?
that's
Thanks.
the long mount. That's the short mount for your 1-6s, 1-8s. They're both available in FDE or 35, 34, in any slope you want. It's 20 or 0. So
Nice.
that's there's a retail.
This is what it's exactly what I was looking at. The 34 millimeter.
Yep.
I've got a 4 to 32
Okay.
that I'm looking to mount. And, yeah.
So that's
And you got the 20 MOA.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I've always kind of been the anti quick detach, and now with the advent of the offset sights, and now they're generalized, like U.S. Army's using them. A lot of other armies are using them. They've accepted that that's your auxiliary sighting method, and especially with mounting your any type of FLIR or night vision, PVS 24 or whatever, it goes in front of the scope. Scope never comes off the receiver anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So having something that torques on is important, but having something low profile that's not going to snag and hang up on your sling, hang up on your uniform, on your ghillie suit is important as well.
What's your recommended torque on this?
65 inch-pounds. So standard Seacock wrench M24 kit, boom, knocks it right in. Half inch drive.
Very nice.
And that's been a very good program for us, very timely on the machine side, but we wanted to have it absolute perfect. So we weren't looking for cost cutting. We wanted to have the best mount available, and that's what we came up with. And retails on it's $240, and just about any size. There might be an oddball one like a 35 millimeter 20 downslope. We don't make a lot of those because the 35's got so much adjustment in it already that very few people, even on a 6.5 shooting 1300, you can use flat. You don't even need the 20 MOA.
I'm noticing all these cuts, these T cuts that you have in here. Is that to reduce the weight? Is that why you did that?
Everything is to get it down. Like I said, this one here is coming in under 6 ounces underneath as well. Tracking cuts without compromising any integrity.
Scopes, yeah.
Right. When the easiest way to test these scope mounts is when you use a high-speed camera and watch the vibration on what happens under stress of recoil. And all these like little cuts in here are designed primarily for weight reduction, but with a keen eye on making sure of structural rigidity of the mount, so you don't have that flex or
they all look
recoil.
Strategically placed and cut.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So along that, I brought a couple things.
So there's more. There's more. Hit us with more.
Okay.
Nice.
So this is the Troy SOCC carbine. We've been very successful with this. This was something we designed with SOCOM down at Fort Bragg. They've had a lot of input on this, so I can't take credit for all the design features on this because it's them putting live input as we developed it. And the reduction of the rail size, I can put my fingers all the way around that rail.
Yep.
And that's important because most of your shooters today are wearing gloves.
Now you got a big hand, so I got a small hand. So let's do a real person test on this.
I got big mitts. I've told you.
You're a giant. And my hands go around it too.
Yep.
So there we go.
So what we did is we developed that rail to come in as slim as possible. We use our patented alpha locking method, which has zero deflection under weight. So somebody put a rumor out at one time that our rail or everybody's rail would deflect and not come back at 25, 50 pounds. So we tested the top 3 rails that were going into this solicitation and found that ours was the only one that came back to zero after that. And it's because we're grabbing on the factory steel barrel nut. We're applying force that's drawing the rail up against the teeth of the barrel nut evenly all the way around. So there's no way to really defeat that, and it's got more consistency with returning to zero. Also, if you notice the squid grips on the front end of the gun.
Yeah.
So where you have your hand, we put those. Those are silicone, so they're designed for high heat. We originally got those on our alpha rails with the round holes, if you remember.
I've got those.
Yep.
Still got mine running there with the squid.
Right.
The round squiddies.
So we wanted to bring them over to M-Lock. So we got the patent on it maybe 5 years ago, and it allows the barrel to breathe and allows air in because it has the holes in the center. They snap in on the groove, so they stay in, and they provide a thermal barrier between you and the barrel, especially when you put a snap of suppressor on that. We know how hot these guns get. It's very similar to the design of the MP5 SD, where you have a thermal barrier of a rubber seal that goes around the barrel of the SD or the suppressor. Right. So those go on any M-Lock rail, and I don't think that message got out before, is that any M-Lock rail ever made will accept Troy squid grips, and so we're trying to get that out. Also behind it, you notice the new hand stop. And that's
I was noticing that.
That's a collaborative effort with Dan Brokos. He was the NCOIC in charge of the Special Forces CQB program at Fort Bragg when we met him. And he's got some really good input that he's given us on what drives a really good CQB gun.
Yeah.
So he came up with that hand stop, and we call it the LFT hand brace.
So is it not considered a vertical grip?
It's not.
So you could put this on a pistol.
Matter of fact, all Troy pistols ship with it from the factory with it on there.
Sweet.
But what that does is it allows an excellent barricade device to be able to barricade off of something, a hand stop, and also even an arm brace when you're shooting under cars to be able to hook the front of your arm into what's called broke back mountain position to shoot. So
guys, as you're listening to this, go to Troy's website and you can see what we're talking about. The hands. What do you call the hand stop? What's the name of it?
That's the LFT hand brace.
The LFT hand brace.
Yeah, hand brace.
Okay, hand brace, and it's not a vertical grip.
Nope, not a vertical grip.
It is a hand stop device, and it looks. I like it. It looks nice.
And these are our offset sights. These are the same ones that we're doing for the French Special Forces. We do a different variant with a different front post for HK for the CSAS. But they're 45-degree offsets. They're ambidextrous, so you can unbolt them from underneath, put the brackets on the other way, and still have them fold backwards on the left side. So
Nice.
that's a patent that we had gotten on that. Because all the other ones, you can put them on the other side, but they're going to run backwards, and then they become a snag hazard as they face forward. But these sights are the same profile as our standard folding battle sights, have been rail mounted for years, and it allows you to simply index over 45 degrees and get a perfect sight picture and be able to hit out. I don't know if you got a chance to try this on the range yet.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
It's very, very comfortable. And we had them out yesterday on a short gun and on this gun. It's not as configured for the listeners as we've got a red dot sight that's on here right now, a loophole. So it wouldn't make sense in this, but any magnified optic, this is like the only solution for real accurate iron sighting with a gun that has a primary glass optic on it.
Nice.
Behind that we have here's like this one.
It'd be a great 1-to-8 rifle right there.
Absolutely.
The scope.
So this is the new loophole red dot that's here. They're LCO, I believe it is, and we just did this mount for them on that. We wanted, again, a hard mount that was low profile, completely snag free. So we designed this so the thing sits on the rail. You slide the claw bar down the rail. This sits on top, and the two attachment screws to the scope pull up on the clamp and hold it steady, or hold it locked and secured on there with nothing hanging out the sides at all.
Do you have mounts for other brands?
We have for Aimpoint T1s and T2s as well.
Okay.
But this one here was kind of a necessity because when Loophole released these, they sent us some, and we said, well, how do we get it on an AR? We're not a handgun company.
Yeah.
And
made a mount.
made a mount, and this gun it's been tracking probably just over 6,000 rounds, and there's been no shift on it whatsoever. That speaks to the quality of the optic as well as the mount. But this mount is double lugged as well. So this sits in two lugs in the Picatinny and then draws up from the bottom. So there's no way this thing can move. So that was a pretty good development. And then on the back end, we have a couple things to show you. One is the paratrooper stock. And what this came about as this, again, came from Fort Bragg. We had a PDW stock. They love the profile of PDW stock, but they're oftentimes not allowed to modify the rear end of the gun. And they said, we like how this fits over hard plate armor. Because when you have a normal butt stock, the bottom edge of that stock hits your hard plate and skids off. Whereas this is able to maneuver above the plate, and the low profileness of it, they said that we like it. And also where these things break when they're dropped is right here on the threads on the buffer tube. That's where an M4 will snap when it takes a hit.
Right.
So this reinforces that whole system on it.
Whole brace system there, yeah, definitely.
Right. And you can easily drive it just with your thumb and to adjust it. The SOCC charging handle. This is our ambidextrous charging handle, again, a part of the SF program that we were partaking in. It's an ambi, but what I did is we designed it so that we have extended levers on it. So for people that want to one finger it, it's extended enough. But we radiused it over and left no back area for a snag. So again, snag free. And we also increased the spring pressure by 4 pounds in the latches to prevent that accidental hit where if you bring your bolt back 30 thousandths, that's going to retard your hammer coming forward and shut your gun down. You're not going to get the round off, let's put it that way.
Right.
So it's important this thing stays latched. So by adding that increased spring pressure, that did it. We also put a bleed valve to the side, so when you're shooting suppressed, your gases are going out to the side and not into your face. So it cuts it down drastically, which is important with mostly suppressed fire.
Sure.
So that's that. And then one of the biggest things that we're doing, I don't know if you knew this, Marty, but we've been doing sling production for 15 years in-house.
I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were doing slings.
We have a full sew shop. We've got 5 employees. That's all they're doing is our sew shop, and we've done a lot of OEM slings.
How did we never talk about your slings before?
Well, we were producing VTAC slings, and because they came to us, they loved our rubber handle that we've done for forever, and we were doing VTAC, and we're happy going that way. They've got other vendors doing other things, so we've decided to upgrade our sling. Essentially, our design is 15 years old. How it actuates, though, is drastically changed, and this thing is going to crush it. And we've already been showing it to the riders here, and we've gotten some great feedback. But it sits on like any other sling, the 2-point, but it just adjusts here. That's it. Just grab the handle, boom.
He's throwing it over his shoulder, and then
there's no lever.
Front hand is just right there.
You don't have to trigger anything for a release. It just pulls forward or pulls back, and it's got the handle. It's easily found, easily adjusted. Silent. There's no metal buckle to nail your gun and make noise or scratch it.
Easy transitions.
Right. So this is
left, right.
Yep. This is the padded version here. It's one piece of ballistic nylon. It goes all the way through, and then comes back around on this pad side, and there's pad in there, and then the front is the same material, and then we have our lightweight version. So this sling weighs only ounces, and it's most guys that are rolling with armor or just in and out of a car, they don't care for the pad. The guy that's on long patrol are going to be doing a lot of shooting. The pad is very useful because it's comfortable.
Right.
But me, if I was coming out of my cruiser, all I'd want is this, and all you do is just grab it, pull it, and you're out, and you got the same exact adjustment.
So what he did, the sling was kind of compacted, folded up against the rifle,
right,
and then he just thumb pulled it out to extend the whole thing, threw it over his
just an
his
elastic
shoulder.
keeper that's right on the sling. Just snap it out, and that's it, and it's stored. So when you're pulling it out of your cruiser, you're not getting it on the gear shift, the computer, the gun rack, everything else that you have in the front seat.
Right.
It stays tight, or even just pulling it out of the safe. I mean, I know everybody's got that experience of trying to get that gun in the back, and the sling's catching everything.
Catching all the other guns on the scopes and everything,
Yeah. And on this gun, we have a 1-to-8 or 1-to-6 that's mounted to give you an idea of how the offset sights can be used in tandem with the scope mount, and also how a 1-to-8 would lay out on it. And you can see the rail engagement of the mount. This is 30 millimeter mount on here.
Yeah.
And this is also one of our SOCC pistols that is available in the brown with the LFT hand brace. It comes standard with it. The SOCC Ambi Safety. The safety was originally designed by us to go under the tubes on like that gun there, or PDW stock, with a dog leg. And then the Ambi side's cut down so it doesn't interfere with your trigger finger.
Yeah.
And then the SOCC charging handle. This one is got the optional law tactical brace, but it is a SKU.
Oh, okay.
So people can order it from the factory from us. They're expensive, but some people don't have the tools or want to screw around with it, so they'll order it that way right from the get-go. And
I would assume that's compatible with other models of ARs.
Oh yeah, it's a standard
okay.
brace. We just have an OEM agreement.
Nice.
And then Tracy brought her gun today.
So for
This has been getting a lot of internet shout-outs.
those ladies who are into them, yeah.
Yeah, that I did this for Christmas, and it's it's a SOCC carbine, but we put her favorite band's logo, which is Pussifer, and that's
What's the name of the band?
Pussifer.
Pussifer.
It's Maynard Keenan's band. He's Tool. He's got Pussifer and Perfect Circle.
Okay.
So she loves it.
Check him out.
We were actually out in Jerome, Arizona, and went to one of his restaurants. She left a card. We said, "Hey, Maynard, if you're out there, Tracy wants to give you one of these guns. You can pick your serial number or whatever. We'll do it for you."
Did he cash in on that?
No, not
yet.
Not but now this is circulating with his logo on there. Now, just Maynard, just so you know, it's just on her gun at her request, and we're not selling it. It's not for sale. It's not available. Only to you, buddy.
There you go. There you go. I can only imagine what Christmas is like at the Troy household, man.
Oh, I have a picture.
We will show you a picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all you think it would be.
And more, huh? I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So we've got to focus this year, like for our domestic market. So right now things are running good overseas, but domestically we're picking up, but we're focusing on what Troy is known for. Troy is known for sights and rails and slings. And I guess you didn't know about the sling part, but now you do.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard about the slings in all the years that we've been doing stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
So, 7
I'm
children.
looking at a Christmas picture right now. Yeah.
How many guns are in that picture?
I'm seeing everybody. Everybody's locked and loaded except the little dog, but that's your next market, right? Is
Dogs.
getting into dogs. Arming our dogs, yeah.
Well, our mascot is a bulldog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Trooper First Class Troy is is our bulldog, and he does some product testing for us, and he'll take the fall for any internet issues once in a while.
There you go.
You just need a vest. Like that animal is totally capable of carrying at least 3 or 4 magazines.
Oh, he has.
He's got a bulletproof
He's
vest.
got a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Somebody
There you
gave
go.
one of the local law enforcement shops gave us a vest for him, so he's got it.
That's cool.
But so things are
Lots
are
of
going
things
good, man.
since
Yeah.
last time we talked, man.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really glad to see the monolithic scope mounts.
Yep.
The hand stop thing, that's new. Wasn't familiar with that. I knew about your squiddies. I love the squiddies.
Yep.
Those have always been my favorite invention that you guys came out with.
I think that most people though are thinking that these squid grips only fit like Troy rails or something.
Yeah.
And then
I
people
mean, it
are
specifically
actually
says M-lock.
Yeah, well, I know. But this week on the range, some of the writers have come over and say, yeah, these fit any M-lock rail. Really? Because what we'll do is, especially the SOCC, this sitting out in the sun, not shooting. The thing gets really hot. And I'll say, hey, just put your hand back here. And they're like, oh, okay, now we'll grab it up
touch
here.
that.
And you can shoot all day up here. It's not going to burn you. You get a little bit of, radiant heat coming through the hole.
Sure.
But it's not touching, 500-degree aluminum,
How have you done with the suppressors with the squiddies?
Great, no problem. We started teaming with OSS suppressors on our military submissions and a lot of our law enforcement sales. We've been using them. They've been a great backbone for us.
Okay.
Again, we're focusing on what we do well, and we do it in-house. As far as well, meaning not quality. Quality is always great, but the getting it out and actually producing. And what we do in-house very well are rails, sights, and slings, and scope mounts, and we're really on
Stocks.
that. Yeah, we do. Actually, I took my injection molding machines out, and we sent our molds. I needed more floor space for the machinery for aluminum. So I've got a shop down in Connecticut that's doing our injection mold for us. And
Okay.
everything we do is Berry compliant, 100% U.S. Even the nylon in our slings is made in Rhode Island. So we're very adamant about that. But we found that we're really good at stuff like this. We're really good at the sites, and be able to do all that in-house, maintain quality, continuous production, and to be able to definitely fulfill our military obligations, because you miss on a contract, it's a big deal, and you get scarred by that. And it affects everything else. Even other governments that you are looking for your track record, and they want to know, okay, give us agencies that you've already provided.
Got to show
for.
that resume, yeah.
You got to show the resume. So the only way that we can be successful at that is that we control it, especially our main products: scope mounts, rails, sights, and slings.
Now, are you guys doing the brakes also?
We are. So these are a flash suppressor that attaches our suppressor, our Troy cam. We had that out here last time. We were playing with that. It's a 3/4 turn lock on it. It's kind of like a fire hose coupling, the way that it attaches. Great cans, very expensive to produce. And we started looking at margins, like, hey, the cans are awesome. And Doc Dater came over and said, wow, because we were shooting next to Gemtech at SHOT. He's like, what is this? What's going on? You got to tell me about it.
Yeah.
So we told him about it. It's something that we did back in the SOPMOD M14 days in 2002. Then I was doing that out in Illinois. We developed a suppressor for that, and it had a lot of technology in it that was cool. But the cost for us to produce it and what we do in our machine shop and how that works, it doesn't
Not
make sense
feasible
right
for
now.
you.
Maybe at some point it will be, but to have a good partner like OSS, and we've used Silencer Co. on other product as well.
Right.
Those two guys have been able, or those two companies and those two teams have been able to fulfill our needs, so we can focus on what it is that
you
we
do
do
well.
in-house and do it best. Yeah,
That's smart, man.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
Well, I'm overwhelmed with all this stuff. So
Yeah.
you guys make sure you go to Troy's website. You want to give all the social medias and everything?
Worldoftroy.com.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
WorldTroy.com. That's your Instagram,
Hashtag Troy Industries.
Facebook, website. Everything's there.
Yeah.
And they can go to their local retailer and
create a demand.
create a demand.
We have all the major distributors carry us. RSR, Armchair, Sports South, Green Supply, TGD. So all the stuff's in their system. SOCCs are they're not your $699 gun. So a lot of people aren't inventorying them, but something that we look at this as the turnkey. It's got all our enhanced features, but it's also got a ballistic advantage barrel, and it also has a CMC trigger right out of the gate. So
You're getting
there's
a custom gun without turning a screw.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Exactly.
And what's the price on those, did you say?
I think these are running right around 1,500.
Around 15? Well,
Yep.
but that's not...
Yeah, it's
No, that's
$200
not bad at
trigger,
all, man.
$200 barrel. Yeah.
Seriously, like if I could chime in here for just a second, like the whole build the gun for $700 craze thing, like
it didn't exist.
Well,
To get a quality.
you can't get a quality gun that way. You cannot be done. Like I've even played around with the idea of doing my own rifle line with various parts from here or there, and really, if you're getting a quality rifle from a reputable manufacturer with a warranty, like, it can't be really done for less than $1,500. It really can't. So
plus we get benefit of we're in mass production. Like we have OEMs that we do like 500 handguards a day for. So when you generate that type of turn and volume, you're able to generate a lower cost on what we're producing. So for us to make this rail versus one of you guys to go out and then have somebody make it for you and then put it on a gun, so we're able to save on that. Plus, we're able to still pay our overheads. Like, we've got a lot of employees to pay. We've got, airfare and hotels to pay when we come here. And there's a lot of unseen costs that people don't understand. And just web costs. Like, you constantly are getting $3,000, $5,000 bill just to have a website. Different things that happen that you don't see. And when people look at the sum of the parts,
got to pay that light bill, man.
You got to keep it on. And it's like, our margins, we don't have to have the ridiculous margins of the big guys. And that's why we're able to be in the market with it. And if you look at like we talked to CJ earlier, is that we're doing all this stuff internationally, and it's upsetting the normal model of the big guys being able to dominate that.
Right.
We're in right next to them, and we are winning contracts over much bigger companies. And it's because that we're focused on quality, we're focused on innovation. We've always been industry leaders on everything, and now we're looking at hey, how can we present this to the right end user? So we've got ground partners in these countries that are really connected and well vetted, and using the State Department Gold Key program, we've been able to really do a lot of great things overseas as well, which is getting us through the slump that we've got here. But I have to say, guys, that really in the last month, I'm starting to see where we're actually coming out of the slump. It was doom and gloom.
That's
up until
good.
About a month
I
ago.
like to hear that.
Yeah, we're seeing it. Magazines are moving now. We're shipping a couple pallets out.
We got to keep it
customers.
positive.
Yeah.
The government's the government that we've been wanting. But then everybody's bitching and moaning and crying. That the gun industry's bad. Well, it should be the best ever right now. This is the best time ever to go out and buy your accessories, to buy your firearm, your rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. It's available. It's the best prices it's ever been. So.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
And there's a lot of cool things that are going on that people aren't aware of, like the pistol thing. Like, it's no longer the $200 tax stamp anymore. You can still do most of the things you want to do with that. And then, like Tracy's gun here, this is called an other. This isn't even a pistol. This is a barrel length of 12 inches, 26 overall. It has to have a front grip to be legal. And really, when you look at this brace that's on here, I have a tail hook on hers. I like the tail hook brace. It's rigid. Why would I ever think about dropping a Form 1 or a Form 4?
Yeah, why would you do that? I can do
everything I need to do with this. And oh, by the way, Tracy's from Connecticut, and this is the only thing that's legal down there. So
interesting.
And you could do bayonet lugs on it if you want.
So you were talking about it's classified as an other weapon.
Right, it's classified as a firearm.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got approached by Connecticut because none of the firearms manufacturers were wanting to even challenge this. So one little manufacturer, Lester, was putting 50 together a year, which he was allowed to do without paying federal excise tax, and that was it. And he was doing the others because in Connecticut law, it defines a pistol of a barrel length less than 12 inches, a rifle 16 inches or more. So what he was able to do.
So there's a gray area right there.
Well, it's not even the gray. It's totally black, but
right.
it configures that any firearm that is a barrel length of more than 12 inches and less than 16, 26 inches overall length, and has a front grip, and is not a rifle and is not a pistol, is therefore considered other. So if you look at like the undersides of these things, they're marked, other firearm, right? And then we also mark them here, other. And that passed muster in Connecticut. So until like a couple of weeks ago, we were the only game in town. And it was like we did a ridiculous amount of guns to Connecticut. They were 60% of our domestic sales of firearms. We're pumping these into Connecticut. It's course, and now it's slowed down to a grinding halt because we flooded the market down there. And I think Stag is just starting to get into it now, but they're late to the table, so they're not going to see the success we saw in it.
Right.
But it created this new category, which we would want to put a little more nationally, because basically it falls under the same thing as the Mossberg Shockwave. It's that same ruling there. I never quite understood the forward grip part, but we've had legal look at it over and over, and it has to have the grip.
It has to have
to have the grip.
Whereas an AR pistol, you can't have one of those.
And prior to me knowing about this, I would call this an AOW all day long. $5 tax stamp pistol.
I mean, just looking at it, people would think that that's an AR pistol.
Or a rifle, because of this.
Well, you've got the brace on
Yeah,
it, so
yeah.
I mean, we would say it's a pistol. It doesn't have the stock on
Right.
it. So
Yeah, as long as it's a 12-inch barrel, that's the. So we've actually
now is that nationwide, or is that just in?
any state that the Mossberg Shockwave is legal, it's legal.
Then you can have one of those.
Yeah.
And it's not a pistol. It's
another
something else.
Yeah, not a pistol, not a rifle, not an NFA
and you can
weapon.
put a forward grip on it.
Yep.
Can you put a butt stock, or does it have to have a
No.
pistol grip?
It absolutely. It cannot have a butt stock. That's why
Okay.
we use the brace.
The
on
brace,
it.
so
Yeah.
it has a brace on it.
Yeah, so you could use a Shockwave, an SBA, a tail hook. Like I said, I like the tail hooks because they're extremely rigid. However, our production line uses
Out of
the
Murfreesboro,
SBA.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
It's Raleigh.
Oh, cool. So is Barrett. That's a great
Yep,
place.
yeah, Barrett's right down the road.
But in production, we're using the SBA because the SBA is a lot more lower profile than this. It seems like we put it out there. The customers wanted the SBA on there.
Right.
So we ended up going that route. Plus, it's significantly less expensive. But the tail hook, as far as
Absolutely.
I'm concerned, is the best brace on the market.
See, that's something that we need to talk more about. Is this area in between that and that? Because I'm just kind of learning about it. So
I'm glad that he went through that, actually, because I've had several people. I'm actually going to
try to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've had several inquiries actually in the recent weeks where people have asked me to do a video on that, and I'm just actually going to point them at the podcast. Be like, go listen to this, because there's been several times where I have just been unable to properly.
I think I'm
articulate
gonna take that sound bite, if you don't mind, and I'll post it like Instagram and stuff like that. So,
Well,
this is something big that's coming out now that people
and
are.
it's
they're
that
like,
thing
what?
where people were afraid to step up, and like we had it analyzed. ATF has been into Connecticut on it. They've had several instances where they've looked at it and said, "Yeah, this is legit." And as much as Connecticut doesn't like it because they banned everything, so they thought. Unfortunately, it's in the law, and it's allowed. So.
Yeah.
It's one of those spirit versus intent of the law, or letter of the law versus the spirit of the law type of situations.
I don't know how long this will stand in Connecticut. Like I said, that wouldn't be if I hadn't been in the market already, I wouldn't be looking to get into it.
Sure.
But we did everything. We did GAUs, XM177s with 12-inch barrels. Sent those down. I mean, we've done a lot of guns, thousands of guns down there.
Yeah.
Actually, tens of thousands. So.
Now, are you guys still doing the AK parts? I know you were making some handguards for the AK-47, and were you doing any other parts?
We did muzzle brakes, flash suppressors, and the front end of handguards. We've got a new side folding stock that we're doing on our
nice.
SAR, PAR. So we're doing a trunnion adapter to use that on the AK.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we do this segment since you and I talked last. It's called the AK Corner. Talking about AK Corner. It's a 12-part series that I put together. Do one once a month, and we talk nothing but AK-47s.
Yeah.
The history, the different variations, the accessories. Training, everything that goes behind that. So
cool.
Yeah. So Troy, for you AK heads out there, they've got AK accessories. So check them out for that too.
Yeah, M-lock long and short rail, and a top rail that replaces the gas tube.
Yeah, they're really. Is it the Alpha? Are you doing the Alpha?
I think the Alpha got discontinued for M-lock.
Okay, so you're doing the M-lock version of those now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So a long and a short.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good. I like that. All right, guys, check them out. World of Troy. All over the place. Tracy, thank you so much for taking the time to be on.
Thanks for having me.
Steve, Troy, as always, thank you so much.
Thanks,
now, have I hit you with the new guy questions?
I don't know.
So, first time guest on the show, I hit him with a series of questions called the new guy questions. Now, I thought I'd hit you with
Thank God it's not my first time.
or girl, new guy or girl
right.
questions. So, how did you originally get involved with firearms? What's your earliest recollection of going out and shooting a gun?
With my dad. So I grew up in Minnesota.
There you go.
Cabin in northern Minnesota and grandparents' farm in Wisconsin. So just shooting, shotguns, and that was my first experience. And then fast forward 25 years, and I meet this guy.
And then you meet this guy,
Yeah.
this lughead, and then you're shooting everything that you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Now you took a course while you were out here.
I
did
did.
a little run through with Q.
Yeah, my daughter Tori and I did it.
Yeah. How'd you enjoy that?
I loved it.
Did you pick up some good tips and tricks?
Very good. Yeah.
Doing some barricade shooting.
Barricade shooting, under cars.
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain.
That's from Kyle Lamb. I don't take credit for that. That's
There you go.
Position. Yeah.
No, I learned a lot. We had a great time. He's a great instructor.
Very good. Now, we know you've got some law enforcement background. That's usually my next question. Do you have any military law enforcement background?
I do both.
And what about yourself?
No.
Him?
Yeah.
He's-
That's my experience.
He's your experience. When it comes to pop culture, what's your go-to like comfort? Whether it's a movie, music, maybe a magazine or a book, something on a TV show.
So we both are lovers of music.
I got that from your rifle.
Yeah. We're both huge Depeche Mode fans.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Love Depeche Mode. Yeah.
So that's really one of our go-tos. It was our first concert we ever saw together.
Very cool.
Yeah, me too. I varied music from a lot of like foreign folk music to like Dead Can Dance, some rock. Like there's a band out in California, I don't know if anybody knows, called Zepparella, which it's a female, all female band that's doing Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
they
Led
rock.
Zeppelin.
I want to see them, but their East Coast tour doesn't line up with us. But
Yeah.
so I get into that, and then even EDM music for working out and stuff.
Yeah.
But we both definitely share a love of music, and it's very similar.
There's a band that I'm going to go see tonight when I get back to Nashville. They're called the Goddamn Gallows.
Oh yeah,
They're kind of like
never heard of them, but
rockabilly, hard rock kind of
Must
mix.
have check them out.
yeah.
They're really good. They do the bumper for my my outro.
Who's the guys that do that song, Porch Honky? Great video. Anybody wants to look it up?
Porch Honky.
Porch Honky.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite? That's a hard one.
One you can just sit down and watch over and over again.
Well, recently we watched American Gangster for the first time.
Yeah.
Hate to say that. Think about
Denzel and what's his name, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, loved it. Loved it. But
So you like those kind of thriller
yes,
type?
yeah, totally.
Figure
my
it out
thing.
before the end of the movie kind of thing.
I mean, when I was younger, of course, it was things like Pretty in Pink. And
That's what I'm
16
getting at.
Candles
Yes,
and-
there we go.
Oh, and I watched them a million times.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Steve?
I don't know that I have a favorite movie. I do. That's kind of been a default with my kids over the years as we go to the movies. So
Yeah.
I
One
know-
that really stick. You kind of look like Batista. Has anybody ever told you that?
No.
The guy who's in Guardian of the Galaxy.
What does he play?
He's the Drax, the big guy.
Big.
The big guy. He was like a wrestler or
He's my
MMA
Hulk.
or
Yeah.
something. He's your Hulk.
I do watch all the Marvel movies with him. I like those. I like a lot of documentary stuff.
I love documentaries. Yeah.
I
I like
just-
those.
We have a very eclectic taste, so
Yeah.
we watch a little bit of everything.
That's the
Music,
way
we
I
listen
am.
to a little bit of everything.
Variety's the spice of life, right?
Art, both really into art.
Yeah.
Steve more than I, but anytime we travel, new country, there's got to be a museum in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely a big fan of that, especially in Europe.
Have you been to Poland?
I was on the,
Beautiful architecture and
it's interesting. We have a distributor in Poland that's killing it for us. We're gonna go visit them. We're also gonna do something with CJ over there. So I'm excited because the last time I was there was 1991, and I was on the U.S. karate team, and we went there, and it was like unbelievable poverty, and it was really bad. And we'd go into a store, and I wanted to bring home some jelly, so I'm reaching for it, and these little Polish ladies come over, grab it all off the shelf, and wait till we leave, and then put it back. They'd poke you in. So I've heard it's a huge change.
it's
I've got some
completely
Polish
different.
ancestry, and I'm looking forward to the trip over. So we've got to be in. It's all work, but we've got to be in Italy this coming month, France the following month, and we're going for. Actually, we have a little bit of a part of our French friends have given us a little tour, but we're staying for D-Day in Normandy. So
that would be nice.
Tracy and I are in France at least 2 times a year, and we've got one of our best friends, JC. He's our rep in France, and kind of our business there is largely because of him and his efforts.
Yeah.
We stay at his house, and we're going to go there. And
That'd be a great time.
Yeah, so we've got great ties with France. Last summer, I brought my Boy Scout troop there, and for their service project, we cleaned the graves at the American Cemetery.
Where were you when I was in the Scouts?
Yeah, well, I try to keep it interesting. So it's interesting. We have a lot in common. We met late in life, but it's just at the right time. But Her son and my oldest son are within a month of getting their Eagle Scout, and my youngest son is about
Right
6
on.
months out from his Eagle Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I just
I'm not.
I'm big in yeah.
Me either.
I'm just
Well, they wouldn't let us do that as girls back
now.
then.
Hey, now
Now you can.
Now
Now
you
you
can, and we're seeing girls come in Cubs, and it's awesome. But I've just that's my go-to charity, the Young Marine Program and Boy Scouts, but mostly Boy Scouts. And so
It's
I wanted
eventually just
come
going to
over
be
the top.
Scouts, I think.
I hope, yeah, Scouting USA.
Just
Should have
call it
a long time
Scouts.
ago. Everywhere else in the world you go, France, it's a Spain, it's a mix,
Right.
and they've never had a problem. And we've had girls in Scouting for over 20 years in the Adventure Crew program. There's never been a problem. So
Yeah.
people have kind of fought it, but I think it's logical. It makes sense, and it's going to give a higher program to youth.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. So what's the bucket list? What's your next gotta have, want to have? It's on your radar. You're like eyeing it, and I'm gonna get that.
I want a couples retreat in like Bali
Look
or
at you
something.
go.
That's what I want.
You just
Or
getting ready to travel the world.
Just
now
some
you-
sort of some kind of new age retreat or something, just like out of our comfort zone to try out for the two of us.
Yeah.
And
Like a
but-
cleansing kind of
yeah, just
relaxation.
eat right and learn things. Communication skills, that kind of thing would be awesome. That's mine. I don't know, what's yours?
I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah.
That's the
He's
one
getting
thing.
all mushy on there. I was
Well-
talking like a new truck or something like that. Here he goes throwing out.
The trucks are good. They're all like 20,000 miles. We're good there.
Yeah, we're not showy by any means.
Yeah. Any gun I've ever wanted, if I really wanted, I've got lots of them.
You just
And,
make it.
yeah, or make it. But no, I'm good there.
I want to see as much of the world as I can before
Yeah.
I die.
It's nice. So travel.
Every corner travel.
And we are knocking that down. I mean, we really are. We're seeing a lot. And what we try to do is we have to do the work thing. So we're traveling and doing that. But I try to add something on or pick an airline that's going to put us somewhere that we can spend a few days and see it. And
Sure.
we've had a lot of success with that. And it's relatively low spend with the Airbnb thing. And
Right.
And we've had a great time of it. And
Have
we're
you had any
just-
nightmares with the Airbnb? Because I've heard, some people.
We were in Florence, Italy,
real
and
nightmares.
they played it up. It's out Balboa Gardens, all that, and it was like a 300-year-old apartment building. It was kind of
dang.
rough, but it was okay. It was clean, but it wasn't what we expected. But we traveled all through Europe over last summer, and
Using
all Airbnb,
Airbnb.
40 euro a night, and it was fantastic. And eating at local restaurants and staying off the tourist grid as much as we could, and all
Right.
I want
that.
to live their lifestyle when I'm there.
Is
Yeah.
that-
You know.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, we don't like to.
That's what I do is like, where do the locals go?
Right.
I don't want to do the
I want,
touristy stuff.
we want the short menu that has like 6 items written on a chalkboard, not on something printed.
Exactly.
And really try it, and we've had good luck with that. Plus,
Nice.
our partners on the ground, we've got great relations with them, either be our distributors or the police or military units. And hey, where do we go? And they'll normally just take us.
Yeah.
And we've got some great.
Because they know the place to go.
Yeah, just the access that we've had has been unbelievable. Once
Very
you're on
cool.
the end, you're on the end.
If you could spend the day at the range with anyone or a group of people,
Maynard Keenan.
Yeah.
Maynard Keenan, just like that.
Yep.
And you want hey, Maynard, if you listen to this show, they want to give you a rifle, so
Yeah.
or something other than a rifle.
He is an avid
Whatever it's
shooter,
classified
so-
as nowadays.
Yeah, we're in we're in
You
Arizona.
should invite him
too.
out here to this event.
Yeah, he's in Arizona. He does shoot with Recoil Magazine and does stuff with them. But he's a busy cat. He's got a lot going on. He's basically totally refaced Jerome, Arizona. So through his business ventures, vineyards, he's he's a big employer there. He's big in the culture of the town. It's impressive what he's done.
Very nice.
I always listened to Tool. It's not been my top 5, but. I learned about Pussifer. I've heard some of their songs in the backdrop, but until I met Tracy, I didn't know. And it's just, guy's an artist, and I got to respect that. Any artist and any type, you want to know how it is they became.
I'm going to
great,
look them up when we get off.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of them before.
Yeah.
But so if it was a fictional character that you could spend the day at the range with, who would you pick? Or historical?
Thor.
Thor. Nice.
Boy,
That's a first. We haven't had Thor before.
yeah, I don't know. Of course, Ronald Reagan would come to mind.
That would be a good
that
one.
would be really cool to be able to
Absolutely.
do that. But I don't know. There's a range day would be good with a lot of people. It's just to pick one person.
Yesterday we had a
I tell you what, if I could go back in time, it would be my grandfather, just so he could see where I was.
Perfect.
Because
Yeah.
he died before any of this ever happened, and to be able to show him, where I got,
yeah,
would be cool.
have him shoot some of your
Yeah.
creations.
Or even my mom, that she would get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
She's around. Yeah.
Good answers. I
Yeah.
like that. Very good. Well, we do that obviously for our listeners to get to know you on a personal level. which helps them connect more with your company and your products. So thank you for taking time to do that.
I got
Appreciate
one.
it.
Thank you for having us.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, Curtis.
So you're both, and don't take this the wrong way, physical specimens. Do you work out together?
Yes.
Hey, stop touching my leg.
Hey.
that was me.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So what do you guys do? Do you guys do the run on the beach? Do you hit the gym together? The weights? Like, do you do the home gym thing? You have a chain. How do you do it on the road? So
Currently,
much?
it's a home gym thing when we can. We've been traveling. I think we've been home 3 weeks this entire year.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot harder. So we both, and I can speak for him as well, I'm sure, we both are feeling out of shape right now because we have just been traveling nonstop. But when we're in our regular routine, it's home gym. I do a lot of running and walking. I like to be outside, hiking, any of that kind of stuff. Him, obviously, the weights.
I'm cutting back.
smash.
Yeah. I'm cutting back. I'm trying to change down, and I've got a great concierge doc. This Tom O'Connor guy is metabolic doc, and I went to him, and he's like, okay, it's great. As a state trooper, I had to have this because I was by myself, and I had to be able to get myself out of situations, and it was handy, and it worked well. But now going into the long haul, I'm in that transition phase where I got to take down 40 pounds of mass, and that's just, I want to live a long time. I want to be happy
Absolutely.
and healthy, moving on. So
I want to live a long time.
Yeah. So my thing is now it's mostly like a cardio, push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. That's it. And that's what my focus is just if I can get down and knock out push-ups, do some pull-ups, get some sit-ups.
Diet.
I'm great. Tracy is a chef, and she absolutely kills it for her on the really healthy. And I also have her as a reminder when we're out, and so I've been really careful.
Accountability partner.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the naggy wife.
Yeah, but she.
But honey, that's
good.
probably not the best thing to have.
Right. So
Wouldn't you rather eat this?
Yeah. So we generally make wise choices on what we eat, and we come from a background of fitness, a lifetime background of fitness. So it's not a stranger to me where I hit 40 and I've got a heart problem.
Well, it helps that you're both into it. So
Yeah.
you don't really have a conflict there.
Yeah. Great.
We go work out together, but we don't work out together. We'll go to the gym together, and she'll do her own thing, I'll do my own thing.
When we go to the gym, it's about the same thing. We'll do some things together, some floor exercises or whatever, but
stretches and all that. Yeah, we'll do that, and then we split up and divide and conquer. Yeah,
absolutely. But the point is, you're going together, which is awesome.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Any other questions from the Peanut Gallery?
Nope. Oh.
You're just sitting over there soaking it in, right? All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much. Make sure you go World of Troy. Check them out. Instagram, Facebook, all that. And check out what's the name of the Pussification?
Pussifer.
Let's say Pussifications, Pussifers.
You should come shoot my Pussifer later.
There you go. I'm going to. Yeah, if we can get it before they close the range down. So
we're talking about the gun, you.
All right, guys, we'll be back with more from the Big 3 East here in Tiger Bay.
Thank you.
All right, so that was probably, in all the years that I've been doing it, I mean, we've probably done 3 or 4 interviews with Steve Troy, and that was probably the best interview that I've ever had with Steve. It was very relaxed. I mean, you could tell he's got a whole new attitude on pretty much everything, and it's for the good. Really enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Hope you got a better idea of where Jeremiah and I were going with the not a firearm, not a rifle, kind of thing. I think it might be state specific also, because Steve was specifically talking about Connecticut. So we're not attorneys. He had his attorneys check it. He was basing all his data on the information that his attorneys deciphered for him. Take that information as you will. Check your local laws, federal laws, state laws, whatever. So, Big John.
Send it.
Big John, you're a new guy.
New guy. And sometimes a girl. Questions.
So the first question is, what is your earliest recollection of shooting a firearm? And it could that could be a BB gun too.
Yeah. My earliest recollection has to be when I was a little kid.
Well, I would hope so.
A little tiny 22 chipmunk. little single shot bolt action.
Uh-huh.
Although I'm told by my father that I was shooting a 270 Winchester at 3 years old.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that. He would stand behind me, so I'd take that recoil.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
You're probably sitting in his lap and taking that recoil.
Yeah.
So a 270 Winchester at 3 years old. That's pretty phenomenal. Now, do you have access to that 270 still?
I do not.
Oh, damn. That's a shame.
The 22 Chipmunk, though, I still got that one.
Oh, okay.
And my father, he bought that for me before I was even born. And then when I was born, he engraved my name and birth date on the barrel.
That is awesome. And you still have that.
I sure do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know you've got a family. Now, are you teaching your children to shoot?
Absolutely. They call it the Ranger curse. Ranger qualified dudes not having sons as children. And I've been blessed with two little girls.
You got a lot of estrogen in your house.
Sure do.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. Oldest daughter is 6. Youngest is 4. And they each have their own 22 crickets. Similar,
nice.
The modern day version of the Chipmunk.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And just like my father, I engraved their names and birth dates on the barrels.
Oh, look at you go, man. That's awesome.
Yep. Rule number 1, no pink guns. So 22 crickets, they got the black and purple laminated stocks on them.
Okay. Now, have you ever thought about like Cerakoting?
Cerakote's fine, just not pink.
Yeah. If that's what they want. I've seen some very cool pink like patterns of things that people have done. I understand what you're saying though.
Mm-hmm. If it was like pink components,
animals can't see color.
They can't. No, if it was just like pink components, to give a little contrast, that would be acceptable. I wouldn't call that a pink gun.
I got a feeling your girls aren't into pink anyway, though.
You come into the house, you see the purple and pink explosion. It's all over the place.
Oh, okay. So they get it everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so next question is, and we've covered this, your military law enforcement background.
Yep. 18 years of service, 10 and a half years was active duty. Spent a lot of time with the 10th Mountain Division as a light infantryman. Graduated Ranger School in 2006. Couple of deployments to Afghanistan. Ranger instructor from 2007 to 2011. And then National Guardsman ever since.
All right, when I say this, you gotta answer it quick. Okay? You ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking how to word it. All right, first thing comes to mind, funniest deployment story.
Funniest deployment story is a trip to Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan. I'd been out in the boonies for, I think, 3 months. And finally had my first opportunity to take a shower, hopefully a warm shower, in 3 months. And it was part of my vision that I was going to go to the PX, pick up a 6-pack of non-alcoholic Bitburger beer, and I was going to take my beer into the shower with a scrub brush and Dawn dish soap. And I would drink my non-alcoholic beer.
This is your vision.
Mm-hmm. It's my vision. And I did it. But leaving the shower at night with a couple of buddies, I was carrying my machine gun. I was carrying 240 at the time. And there's some construction going on in Bagram Airfield. A nice big hole in the middle of the road or sidewalk, wherever I happened to be walking.
Right.
And I stepped right into that sucker. And the first words out of my mouth as soon as I hit the ground was, "At least I didn't spill my beer."
Your non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah, my non-alcoholic beer.
Because they don't sell alcoholic beer out there, do they?
No. That doesn't mean you can't get it. They just don't sell it.
Very cool. So when it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it's a movie, TV show, a magazine, comic book, song, music, whatever it may be, that's gun-related?
Ooh, gun-related pop culture.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my head was John Wick, but that seems
There
too
you
easy.
go. No, I mean, that's it. First thing comes to your head. Boom.
Yeah,
That's what these questions are designed to be. So John Wick 1 and 2?
absolutely.
Like
They
them
did a great
equally?
job. Yeah, I think maybe number 1 a little bit more.
I really
But
enjoyed
yeah.
number 2 also.
Yeah, both are great.
Yeah, I thought they were they both were very well done.
I think they just released the trailer for number 3 not too long ago.
Yeah, they did. I'm excited about that. I hope
Yeah.
they come through with that. What about TV shows?
Gun-related
Doesn't have to be
shows?
gun related. What I mean, it's like, and movies too. What's like your favorite movie? What's one that you just sit down and watch over and over and over and over and over again?
Oh, favorite movie?
Yeah.
Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Elisa Milano.
Yes, I remember that. And she wore the
Yeah.
yoga pants. Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up on that movie,
And she was
and I
underage.
still watch it to this day.
I do too. I love that movie. I love all Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So, is there a firearm or maybe a piece of kit that you own that maybe you're not so apt to let people know about? Maybe you're ashamed of it.
Ooh.
Have owned or do own?
I own one, and I'll tell you what it is. I'm not really so bashful about telling people I own it, though.
Yeah.
I'm very prideful of my high point carbine.
Okay, I mean, you're a little hesitant though.
I'm absolutely part of the high point cult.
Nice, very good. And is that like an original high point?
It's one of the earlier ones, yeah.
Is that your first firearm that you ever owned?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
So how old were you when you, and what's your experience with firearms when you consciously decided to, I don't know, purchase or obtain a high point?
I know. So I purchased my high point carbine.
Oh, you got the carbine.
Yeah,
That's
the
a different
carbine.
story.
Yep, I got
Their
the
carbines are awesome. Love their carbines. Yes.
And
Charlie, I love your carbines.
the vision that I had when I purchased it is that it's only $270.
Right.
It works. I'm going to buy this sucker.
Great.
I'm going to buy this sucker. I'm going to enter a USPSA match in the PCC division, and I'm going to smoke dudes shooting $2,000 JPs.
Did you?
It hasn't happened yet, but
Still
it's
working
going
on it.
to.
Still
It's
working on
going
it.
to.
Awesome. No, I really, and they were out at Big 3 as well. And they had they had the 45 out there.
I believe they did. Yes,
I think they had. Yeah, they got the 45. They got a 10 millimeter and they got a 9 millimeter. Do they have a 40 also?
That's a good question. I think they do.
I think they have a 40 also. Yeah.
I think they do.
So I think they're probably one of the only companies, as far as the pistol caliber carbines go, that have that variety of carbines out there available.
And
I don't mean anything bad about, but when people think high point, they're thinking of the pistols, and they don't think of their carbines. But they have really nice carbines. They do a really good job on their carbines.
Yep, they're all shipping with threaded muzzles now. All their carbines.
That's right. Yep.
So I got to trade mine in and get a new one with the threaded muzzle.
You can thread that anyway, right?
Yeah, that is a thing.
That's a thing. You can do
That's
that.
a thing.
Yeah. Or you just get a new one. Either way, because they're so inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I love my Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Love it. Gen 2 sponsors of the show. But here's the thing about our sponsors, Big John, is I don't have any sponsors on the show that I don't use or haven't used their products for quite a while, and I fully believe in them. So there's my testimony on that. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your next gotta have, wanna have bucket list, either firearm or piece of kit?
At the moment, I'm kind of lusting over the Maximum Defense PDX.
Yeah. The 7.62 or the 5.56?
Little 5.5 inch barreled.
Which one?
7.62.
You like 7.62? Yeah.
I would do 7.62.
I would too. That thing is badass. And we got the opportunity to shoot that when we were at Big 3 East. They were set up there, and they had a full auto 7.62.
Yeah, they put the PDX upper on a full auto lower, and we had a blast.
No pun intended.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it was a good time. And I posted some pictures of that, so you guys can go to Instagram, Facebook, and you can see the pictures. Did you post some pictures too?
Yeah, I got some pictures up there.
Tell everybody where your social medias, where they can follow you.
So Instagram, Jeremiah McCarthy 287 at Jeremiah McCarthy 287. It's biblical spelling, JEREMIAH and McCarthy. You can't mess that up.
MCCARTHY, just to be safe.
There you go.
So yeah, that was probably one of my most favorite things at the Big 3 East. Really enjoyed that. So next question is: laws be damned, money be damned, other people's opinions be damned. What would you own? What would you have?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
It is. Pun
Money,
intended.
no object. Money, no object.
Laws, no object.
Ooh, snap. I'm thinking Ma Deuce.
So you keep it on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it on the ground?
It would be mounted on a tripod at the top of the steps, oriented on the front door until
No, I'm thinking you'd have the vehicle itself with all that mounted on it.
Yeah, and that would come also.
Yeah, I mean, laws be down, money be down. Why not? Mm-hmm. Right?
With an old Jeep, in the pintle mount for sure.
Sweet. Are you what's your favorite era? World War I, World War II, 50s, 60s, modern day? Which one's your favorite?
World War II guy.
Okay. Why World War II?
It's mostly attributed to, I believe, my grandfather. He was in the 82nd Airborne Division, and he had the grandkids growing up, airborne all the way.
Right, which explains you.
Yeah. So the scale and the scope of the war, that's what interests me. I don't just like I like
greatest generation ever.
Yeah, I enjoy reading about specific units, and what they were doing at a specific time and all of those stories that come with it.
Right. Are you a coffee drinker?
I'm a coffee drinker.
So if Starbucks were to name a drink after you, what would it be called?
I'm very much anti-Starbucks. I don't know what
right, which is perfect for this question.
Yeah, my wife works for Black Rifle Coffee, by the way.
Oh, does she?
She does.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I just told you that I was getting ready to go down there and meet one of the founders.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So let me rephrase that. Let's rephrase that. If you were walking to, and I wish they would get them going, a Black Rifle Coffee house. Do they have them? I don't think they have them, do they? Do they have like brick and mortar Black Rifle Coffee shops? I don't think
they got some places that will distribute it, but not actual Black Rifle Coffee proper coffee houses. I think franchises might be something in the future, maybe.
Okay. Well, we'll get to the bottom of that when we go to Utah. So, have you been to Starbucks before?
I have.
Okay. So let's stick with Starbucks right now because it's funnier that way.
It is.
What would they name a coffee after you? Mm-hmm. What would it be called?
Could we call it the Big John?
We can.
Is that an option?
Yeah.
You get a cup of Big John.
Yeah, instead of so they've got like the Grandes, how do they name their sizes? I don't know.
They got ridiculous names for the sizes of their drinks.
Yeah.
But if you order a Big John, it's twice the size of all the other sizes.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's a giant cup of coffee.
And you get cream on top. Right? You gotta do a little twist.
Yeah, put some cream on top.
the big John McCarthy. You get it's a double grande with cream on top. Perfect. I love that. All right, so if you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, whether they're dead, alive, fictional, whatever it may be, who would it be?
This is an easy question.
It's easy? Okay.
I think of my dad and I think of my brother.
That's awesome. Why your brother?
I mean, my brother and I are best friends.
Why your dad?
Say again?
And why your dad?
I would say he's the smartest man I know.
Okay. So your dad's still alive?
Yeah. So I read about guns, in my spare time. I've always been interested in them. But even now, when I'm writing or if I'm thinking about something, if I have a question, I've got plenty of people in the gun industry that I can call, to seek their opinion. But I call my dad first every single time.
That's awesome. That's a good answer, man. All right, so I'm gonna expound upon it. So if it were a fictional or maybe somebody you could bring back from the dead, who would you add to that group?
John Wayne.
The Duke?
I like the Duke.
Yeah. What was his name? Merriam? His real name's Merriam?
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the Duke.
The Duke? Who else?
I don't know how good of a shot he really is, but I don't care.
I don't think he's very good, but anyway. Movies made him good.
Yeah. If I ever had a son, he was going to be named John Wayne McCarthy.
John Wick McCarthy?
No, John Wayne
Oh,
McCarthy.
John Wayne McCarthy. Nice. I like that. Is that your final answer? Is that everybody?
Yes, sir.
Is that everybody on your range? Okay. All right, so that's the end of those questions. All right, guys, so you got to know Big John a little bit better, and we had a good time with that. So thank you for being so open with us, Big John. That was awesome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Once again, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, how they can follow you on social media, on your blog pages, your magazine pages.
Yeah. It's on the social media side, Instagram at Jeremiah McCarthy 287. That's at JeremiahMcCarthy 287. And as far as articles and whatnot, most of my stuff is in print, and you can find my articles in Guns Magazine and American Handgunner annuals, Big Bore, Concealed Carry, Survive.
Very cool. So make sure you guys go follow Big John. Let him know that you're a lead head. Shoot him a little message, like his post, and just show him the Lead Head Brigade love, because he is now part of the Lead Head Brigade. So, which was it?
Which post did you want me to look at?
No, I just want you. Don't look at anything yet.
Okay.
It's going to be a random thing. So as you guys know, we're always giving away awesome stuff here on the show, and we gave away a big swag pack to one of our lead heads last episode. We're going to go through do the same thing this episode at complete randomness. I think we went to Instagram last time. Let's go to Facebook this time. I'm going to have our guest, Big John, go to Facebook. Go to Talking Lead's Facebook page. And I just want you to just randomly just start scrolling through our posts there. And I'm going to tell you to stop and then stop.
Okay.
Okay. So which post is it?
I'm looking at April 7th post.
Okay. I have no idea what that is, but what did I post on April the 7th?
Yep. With your expedition from your most recent trip with Rob Pincus and Hollison Optics.
Okay. Is it the video?
Yes.
Okay. So is it the giveaway video or is it?
It's the giveaway video.
Okay. So go through on the comments section. I don't know how many comments we have there, but go through the comments section and then pick your favorite comment, and that is going to be the winner of this episode's Talking Lead swag package. Because I told you guys I've got a crap ton of swag that I need to give away that we've accumulated over the past year. I mean, it's only been 4 months into the year. We've got all kinds of stuff I need to give away. So who's it going to be?
Mm-hmm. I see Bill Adams with his Like a Boss gif.
with Zoolander? I love that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, Bill, you win a swag package. I'm going to go into the Talking Lead swag vault and pull you some nice items out. Shoot me an email, talkingled@gmail.com, with all your contact information, mailing address, sizes, that kind of stuff, and I'll pull some cool things for you, buddy. So that's how we do it here, man. I mean, it's just random. You guys are engaging us on social media. You're liking our posts. You're sharing our posts. We go through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I started a Twitch account. I haven't really done anything on it yet. Are you familiar with Twitch?
No, I'm not.
I'm not either. So I haven't really done anything on Twitch. So you guys don't worry about that yet. But once I do, I'll let you guys know. But that's how we do it, man. We just kind of randomly go through and pick stuff like that. 300th episode coming up. Make sure you guys keep engaging, keep liking, keep sharing our stuff. Let your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncles, everybody you know, tell them about the podcast. Let them subscribe. Leave us feedback on iTunes. Really need that feedback on iTunes. There's a place where you can go and leave comments or suggestions, or I don't know what it's called on iTunes. Do you know what it's called on iTunes?
No.
You can go and leave comments or whatever. Next episode, I'm going to go to iTunes. I'm telling you right now where I'm going. I'm going to iTunes. I'm going to pick a winner, and it's going to be a substantial swag pack. So go there now if you haven't done it already, and I'm going to pick a winner there next episode. And that's going to be episode 295, 5 away from our 300th episode. Big John, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the Talking Lead podcast.
Thank you for inviting me, Marty. Really appreciate it.
I'm really glad you and I met. I think we're going to have a good friendship. I think we're going to have John on a lot more.
We definitely bonded a couple of weeks ago.
We did. We had a good time. Good time down in Tiger Bay, baby. And we got to get our buddy Police, is it 10-8 Talk?
Yeah, Police 10-8 Talk.
If you guys have not hooked in with Police 10-8 Talk, he's on YouTube. Great guy, former LE, is putting out some good video, good content. Go check him out. Let him know that you're Leadhead, and we're going to get him on an episode coming up too. He's a good guy, fun guy. You guys are going to enjoy that. And for us to bring you this content, you guys need to go show love to our sponsors. Every one of them. Friends of the show, sponsors, guests. Let them know you heard them on the Talking Lead podcast. The official optics of Talking Lead, Riton Optics, RITON.com. RitonOptics.com. Going to be down in Utah. They're going to be there with their optics. Modern Spartan Systems is going to be there for all your gun cleaning, lubrication needs. They even make a product for your engine, Big John. It's called TVT Engine Oil Additive. I put it in all my engines. I'm not going to say just vehicles, because I put it in my lawnmowers, I put it in my weed eaters, put it in everything. TVT Engine Oil Additive. Extends the life, makes them run better. The performance, awesome shit.
I'm going to check that out.
ModernSpartanSystems.com. X-Steel Targets. They're going to be there also, Utah. Hopefully Bud's going to make that trip. Hey, he's trying his best to get out there. But you guys are slamming him with orders, which is good. Don't forget about that special they got going right now, 25% off everything. And then if you go to and leave a positive review on their Facebook page, they're going to send you a coupon for 35% off. That's xsteeltargets.com. Bud, X-Steel Targets, they just walked into Big 3 East, became the new official sponsor of their steel targets down there as well. Good times, good targets, anything you need. And if you don't see something you need there or what you're needing, they can custom make AR-500 steel targets for you. They're doing trophies too. They do a lot of these big-time competition shooting trophies. Their trophies are amazing that they're doing. They can do phenomenal stuff. They've got their own laser cutters there. He's getting into Cerakoting also. So they're just ever increasing their capabilities over there at X-Steel Targets. xsteeltargets.com. Our good buddies over at Kel-Tec Weapons. Good buddy Chad. We're going to get Chad on soon. Haven't had him on in a while. I think he's almost 100% recovered from his motorcycle accident. And we're going to get an update on Chad, Kel-Tec Weapons. Make sure you go show them some love. Not only do they have their firearms, they've got pistols, they've got rifles, they've got shotguns. They've even got knives, and they've got flashlights over at Kel-Tec. I'll show you this one right here. You see that, Big John? I'm showing Big John one of their flashlights here.
Yeah.
Very, very, I don't know what the looms is on this thing. I've had it for over 2 years now. Changed the battery in it once, but extremely bright. Ergonomically pleasing. They've got a clip, fits right in your pocket. All kinds of cool stuff. And we're working on getting a discount code for them, but we don't have one set up yet. KeltecWeapons.com. Check them out. Show them some love. Let them know you're a lead head. Warren Scope Mounts. Appreciate them for setting us up on a lot of our right-on optics. For all your scope mount needs, check them out, Warren Scope Mount. And, of course, our AK Corner, Talking Lead AK Corner, every month we do a AK Corner. We're working on Part 10 coming up this month, and we're giving away a PPS 43, and you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure that you're being engaging, you're sharing, you're liking, you are engaging with the other lead heads with their comments. And you could be the lucky lead head. Number 10 coming up, AK Corner. We got 2 more of those to give away, and a big announcement on this next episode. So, man, it's been a long show, Big John.
I hope I performed good enough.
You've done well, man. This has been like one of my funnest shows I've done in a long time. So I appreciate you taking the time to be on. I foresee us doing more in the future as long as you're up for it.
I'd be okay with that. And
now that you got the kind of format of it, and
it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. A little nerve-wracking, but that was all self-induced.
Well, that's probably me. I've probably got a lot to do with that. But always, guys, we're here to leducate the uneducated. The Talking Lead podcast. Make sure you spread the word. Let everybody know. And Big John, thank you again so much. One more time, give everybody where they can get in touch with you.
Instagram at Jeremiah McCarthy 287.
What if they have specific questions for you on one of your articles that you wrote?
Send me an email. Yeah, send me an email. We'll do team.big.john287@gmail.com. It's a long one. It's a bit lengthy.
But you can pause and rewind and you can get it.
Yes, you can.
That's the great thing about podcasting. And let him know how much you appreciate him being on this episode, how much you enjoyed his contribution. We're here for you, your comments, your questions, your suggestions. Keep those jack wagons coming and keep those opposite jack wagons coming. We want to know a new name for that. Don't forget that also. But until then, as always, leadheads, keep your loved ones close
and your firearms closer, and Rangers lead the way.